This is the story of Kang, who got transported to hell. It was a hellish experience. He had to eat demons' tentacles, demons' poop, and even drink demons' piss just to survive. Little by little, Kang somehow managed to survive and eventually became the king of hell. All the previous demon kings now serve under him. Kang might have all the power in the world, but there are only two things he truly wants: to feel the warmth of a real human and to taste human food. Although his commanders tried their best to cook delicious meals following Kang's instructions, all Kang ever got was disgusting food. And in the name of women, Kang had to be satisfied by the thick, slimy octodemon woman. All she ever wanted was to put her slimy tentacles inside Kang. Just the thought of it makes Kang's whole body shiver in disgust. So, if you also don't want to get stuck in hell with the Tenty Girl, then smash that like button and help us hit our 5,000 like goal. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Now, let's continue. For 100 years, Kang studied and studied with the hope of going back to Earth, and one day he succeeded. He opened a portal to Earth. As the portal started opening, every demon began to cry, thinking that Kang was just going for a vacation. The portal finally opened and Kang felt so happy that he was about to escape this horrible world. But just then, Lilith, the octodemon girl, started crying, begging Kang to return very soon. Seeing this, Kang felt disgusted and jumped inside the crack, showing his middle finger to all his demon buddies. But Kang did not reach Earth. Instead, he arrived at a mysterious place with a spherical ball floating in the air. As soon as Kang touched the surface of the ball, a weird alarm called the Giga System started to beep loudly. Suddenly, Kang got hit by a huge electric shock. Kang, using all his power, tried to resist the shock. After that, Kang's vision started to blur. When Kang opened his eyes again, he found himself lying in a green field. Kim slowly opens his eyes, his head pounding with pain. Suddenly, a status window pops up right in front of him. In that status window, his level is shown as 1, and all of Kim's powers are sealed. His strength is 8, stamina 7, intelligence 8, and magic 12, which is really low. And most importantly, almost all his powers are sealed away. Seeing this, Kim gets shocked and starts figuring out what's going on. Before he can make any sense of it, he suddenly hears the sound of growling. When he looks back, he sees a group of bloodthirsty goblins, their mouths drooling, coming right at him to kill. Kim, seeing this, quickly starts forming an energy ball in his hand, ready to blast those goblins away. But then, poof, his energy ball just disappears. He realizes his current magic level is way too low to use any spells, and he can't feel any demonic magic inside his body. He's got no choice now. Kim pulls out his demon blade and slashes through those goblins one by one, cutting them down like he's slicing vegetables with ease. The leader of the goblins, a big purple one, charges at him, but Kim, without even breaking a sweat, slices it clean in half. After killing all the goblins, Kim stands there confused. He wonders, who the hell are these monsters? Then, a weird holographic window pops up, notifying Kim that he's gained experience points. The strangest part? He's now leveled up to level 4, and he feels a little stronger than before. Kim starts looking around at the mess he's made, goblins' bodies everywhere, some missing their heads, some torn apart with limbs scattered all over. He didn't understand where these goblins came from. Kim extends his hand and starts absorbing all the dead goblins using his power of gluttony. He has a lot of questions, thinking maybe if he absorbs these strange monsters, he might get some useful info. But all he gets is another notification telling him his magic stats increased by 2 points. Seeing this increase, Kim gets surprised. How the hell is there magic here? Magic only found in hell? He starts questioning, is this even Earth? Kim feels like he's losing his mind. He had stayed sane and survived 10,000 years only because of the hope that he'd one day return to Earth. But now it all feels like it's been for nothing. Before he could dive deeper into his thoughts, he hears a scream. And this scream? It's not a demon or monster, it's the voice of a human. Hearing this, Kim can't stop himself and immediately dashes toward the sound. After all, in 10,000 years, he's only seen demons. Kim doesn't care how ugly the human might look at this point. All he wants is for the human to have 2 eyes, 1 nose, and 1 mouth. Just the sight of that would feel like seeing a god. Kim even starts praying, hoping he won't see any more tentacles. Well, after everything he's been through, he's practically developed tentacle phobia. Just remembering those slimy tentacles wrapping around his entire body, going who knows where, makes Kim shiver uncontrollably once again. Now, back to the story. Kim reaches the source of the scream and sees a group of goblins, but he ignores them like the middle child of a family. His eyes are locked on one thing, the human trapped between the goblins. First of all, Kim checks out the girl completely. 2 eyes, 1 nose, and of course, milkers. Seeing there are no tentacles, Kim becomes overjoyed. He's so happy he starts crying, and still crying, he rushes toward the goblins. In his excitement, he gets so pumped up that he starts beating the goblins brutally one by one. In just a few seconds, he slaughters all of them. The girl, scared out of her mind, had her eyes closed tight. But hearing the strange sounds, she opens her eyes, noticing Kim slaying the goblins with absolute ease. In a matter of seconds, Kim had cleared out the entire group. He then extends his hand towards the girl. The girl, still in shock, says, "Thank you," and grabs his hand. As soon as Kim touches her hand, a strange, ticklish sensation runs through his entire body. It feels like he's in heaven. Kim just stands there, frozen, shaking. The girl introduces herself, saying her name is Juhi, but Kim, he's still not saying a word. Then out of nowhere, with pure excitement, Kim pulls Juhi close and proposes to her on the spot, asking, "Will you marry me?" This sudden question leaves Juhi absolutely stunned. Then Kang realizes he was a little too excited. He clears his throat, scratching the back of his head, and apologizes to Juhi. Then he introduces himself, saying, "His name's Kang," and quickly asks, "If she is all right, is her injury okay?" Seeing this side of Kang, Juhi, who was initially wary, starts to feel relieved. She's just about to say she's fine when suddenly she remembers the pain in her foot. She loses her balance and is about to fall when Kang catches her effortlessly. Meanwhile, Kang's eyes fall on a smartphone lying on the ground. Seeing the phone, Kang's heart skips a beat. This is definitely Earth. He gently places Juhi under a tree, making sure she's comfortable, and gives her a simple first aid. As she was resting, Kang feels a sudden realization hitting him. He's finally speaking to someone in Korean after 10,000 years. Not a demon, but a human. A beautiful human like Juhi. All Kang's effort of making the Hell's national language Korea was worth it. Damn! Making the entirety of Hell learn a new language and banning the old one is a whole new level of D1 hater. Anyways, back to story. After that, Kang hands Juhi her phone back, and as he does, he catches a glimpse of the date on the screen. It's 2023. Kang's eyes widen in shock. He realizes it's only been 5 years since he disappeared from Earth. Yet he spent 10,000 years in Hell. Nothing makes sense to him. He's a bit confused, but now he needs information, fast. So he tells Juhi to stay put under the tree and rest while he asks her some questions. Juhi starts talking about herself, saying she's an E-rank hunter who came alone to do solo hunting. Party, hunting, player. These are all new words for Kang. He doesn't understand half of what Juhi is saying. Then, Kang asks her directly, "What's your level?" Juhi replies casually, "I'm level 6. Kang realizes with a bit of shock that her level is higher than his. He instinctively leans closer, feeling a bit curious. But Juhi gets startled and jumps up in fear. However, her leg isn't healed yet, and she stumbles once again. Kang grabs her hand, steadying her, and reassures her, "I'll help you." Juhi, feeling a mix of nervousness and shyness, blushes slightly as Kang holds her hand. Together, hand in hand, they start making their way out of the dungeon. As they approach the dungeon gate, Juhi explains, they can return to Earth through here. Hearing this, Kang realizes that they were not on Earth this whole time. They were somewhere else entirely. Now, they're heading back to Earth. As they step through the gate, they find themselves back on Earth. The moment Kang steps out, he sees a sea of people everywhere. His eyes fill with tears. He's so happy that he starts crying uncontrollably. Juhi looks at him, puzzled, not understanding why Kang is crying so much. After a few moments, Juhi shyly bows her head, playing with her hair nervously. She looks up at Kang and, blushing slightly, asks, "If it's all right with Kang, would Kang like to come to her place for lunch?" Juhi's face is flushed with embarrassment, but hearing this, Kang's face turns redder than hers. In Kang's eyes, Juhi looks like an angel. Well, it looks like, after 10,000 years of virginity, Kang is about to graduate from his eternal loneliness. Kang is lost in this blissful moment, but before he can savor it, 2 policemen approach them. They ask Kang for his ID card. Juhi quickly shows them her ID, but one of the officers turns to Kang and demands his ID as well. Kang, realizing he has no ID to show, smirks and raises his middle finger. In an instant, he activates his demon eye and hypnotizes the officer. The officer's eyes go wide, and behind him, a horrifying creature with a long tongue and a grotesque face appears, putting its hands over the officer's eyes. Kang, still smirking, makes the officer believe he's shown him a valid ID card. After that, both officers leave, completely dazed and confused. Kang and Juhi continue walking, making their way to her apartment. As they enter her building, Kang's emotions start to overwhelm him. Climbing the narrow stairway, touching the cold railing, and looking through a dusty window, these small, mundane things bring a flood of memories. For the first time in forever, he feels like he's truly back on Earth. He never expected that the very first thing he'd do after returning would be going to a girl's room for lunch. Kang can't help but think, from here on out, a bright and positive future awaits me. But does it really? Kang was feeling a bit too good, already thinking about doing some naughty things when suddenly a woman's voice interrupts. Juhi! It's Juhi's mother. Hearing the word mother breaks all of Kang's fantasies in a split second. His face falls, and he's pulled back to reality. Kang's eyes dart over to Juhi's mother. All his desires? Poof! Gone like smoke in the wind. Juhi's mother walks over, holding Kang's hand gently and thanking him for protecting her daughter. Her warmth and kindness make him feel awkward for even having those thoughts just a moment ago. She then invites Kang inside and asks him to join them for dinner. Juhi heads off to change her clothes. Meanwhile, Kang's eyes land on Juhi's mobile phone lying on the table. He casually asks if he can borrow her phone for a sec? Juhi, at this point, trusts Kang completely. Without hesitating, she just nods, giving him permission without asking any questions. Kang grabs the phone, thinking he need to check what's been happening these past 5 years. As soon as he picks it up, he's a bit taken aback. It's the latest edition of the iPhone. Kang stares at the sleek device in his hand and mutters, "Damn, Earth really moved fast with tech while I was stuck in hell." He can't help but shake his head, amazed at how much the world has changed in such a short time. Kang scrolls through the phone, searching for news. He quickly discovers something shocking. 5 years ago, strange gates started opening all over the world, and monsters began pouring out. In response, humanity formed hunter organizations to fight off these monsters. As he digs deeper, Kang finds out that the very first gate appeared on February 22nd, 2018, the exact same day he was dragged into hell. Kang's mind races. He's slowly piecing it together now. His transfer to hell and the appearance of these gates on Earth, they must be connected somehow. Before he can search any further, Juhi's mother sets a steaming pot of kimchi stew on the table. The aroma hits Kang's nose and his eyes go wide open. It's kimchi, his favorite dish. Kang hesitates, almost in disbelief. He gently dips his spoon into the kimchi stew, scooping up a small piece of tofu. He takes a bite, and as the flavors explode in his mouth, the salty, spicy, veggie goodness, Kang feels like he's tasting the food of the gods. It's like he's eating heavenly food, the kind only immortals would get. Well, Kang still remains virgin, but he at least fulfilled his dream. After 10K years, Juhi and her mother watch him, confused by his reaction. Kang, overwhelmed with emotions, starts eating faster and faster, shoveling the kimchi into his mouth like he hasn't eaten in forever. And honestly, he hasn't. He hasn't tasted good food in 5 years, or technically speaking, 10,000 years if you count the hellish time he spent. Suddenly, we get a flashback, Kang's first moments in hell. To survive, he ate the most disgusting things you can imagine. He chewed on the testicles of who knows what demons, gnawed on raw, rotten meat, and even drank demon piss just to stay alive. It was like Man versus Wild Hell Difficulty Edition. Kang did all of that because he had to survive, dreaming of the day he'd come back to Earth and eat his favorite dish, kimchi. And now that he's really here, eating real kimchi, he can't hold back his emotions. Tears start streaming down his face. He's crying while eating, savoring every single bite. Juhi watches him, worried. "Kang, what happened? Are you okay?" she asks gently. Kang, swallowing another spoonful, just looks at her with teary eyes and says, "Thank you. Thank you for this delicious food." Juhi and her mother exchange confused looks. They don't understand why he's so grateful for just an ordinary kimchi stew. But seeing Kang so happy, Juhi smiles and decides to offer him more. She gets up, bringing an extra bowl from the kitchen, piling it high with more kimchi, and sets it in front of him. "Here, Kang, eat as much as you want," she says, smiling warmly. Kang's still enjoying his meal, lost in the taste, when suddenly, bam! The back door gets smashed open with a loud crash. A mysterious boy bursts into the room, looking furious. He starts cursing. "Where the hell is that bitch, Juhi?" Kong's hand freezes mid-bite, his eyes narrowing as he looks up, ready for whatever's coming next. Well, we can say R.I.P. to whoever broke the door. The blonde guy barges into Juhi's house, his face twisted with rage. He's glaring straight at Juhi, seething with anger, wondering who the hell gave her permission to enter the gate. Juhi doesn't respond, just stares back at him with cold eyes. Her silence seems to infuriate him even more. Without hesitation, Juhi orders him to leave her house, her voice cutting through the tension like a knife. The blonde guy's anger spikes even further. He steps closer, his expression darkening as Juhi loses her temper and screams at him, demanding he get out. It's then revealed this blonde guy is actually Juhi's own brother. Juhi's face twists in disgust as she hurls insults his way, boldly stating that she's now a full-fledged hunter. She proclaims she can handle herself and insists he needs to leave her house right now. Otherwise, she'll be the one dishing out the lesson. The blonde guy finds this hilarious. He bursts into loud, mocking laughter, tears forming in his eyes as if he's heard the greatest joke of his life. The laughter dies quickly, his face turning deadly serious. He slams his fist into the wall right next to Juhi's head, showing his frustration. He sneers, ridiculing her, reminding her that she's nothing more than a low-level E-rank hunter. He's baffled that Juhi would even dare to call herself a hunter, given her rank. Juhi's mother, witnessing this aggressive display, looks terrified, her hands trembling. Juhi, stepping in front of her mom, firmly warns her brother not to come near their mother. She threatens that if he does, she won't let it slide. Her brother, with a look of pure disdain, turns his gaze to their mother. He sneers and spits out hateful words, calling her a useless piece of trash. He bitterly blames her for their father's early death and for never earning enough, making him feel deprived his whole life. The resentment drips from his words, laced with venom. Hearing this, Juhi's anger surges. She lashes out, accusing her brother, saying that all their problems stemmed from him, not their mother. But before Juhi can say another word, her brother grabs her by the wrist with a strong, unyielding grip. He drags her across the room, deciding right then that he's going to teach her a lesson. Juhi fights back, struggling to break free, but her brother's strength is overpowering. Desperate, Juhi bites his hand hard, drawing blood. The sharp pain only enrages him further. He responds by slapping Juhi hard across the face, sending her flying to the ground. She crashes down, hitting the floor hard, while her mother gasps in horror, rushing over to her. Her brother stands there, shaking with rage, staring at the bite mark on his hand. He's beyond furious now, his eyes dark with fury. He plans to show her and her pathetic mom what real power looks like. Blondie, as he's called, sneers, convinced that Juhi, as an E-rank, has no clue about the harsh realities of the outside world. He believes she's naive to think a low-level hunter can survive out there. Today, he is going to show her the power of a true, high-level hunter. He grabs Juhi by the face, squeezing her cheeks roughly, intending to demonstrate his strength. But just as he's about to make his move, a strange noise catches his attention. He pauses, turning around, only to see Kang casually sitting on a bench, munching away on a bowl of kimchi. Kang seems completely unbothered by the chaos unfolding around him, focused solely on enjoying his food. The sight throws Blondie off. He releases Juhi, his focus now shifting to this mysterious stranger. He marches over to Kang, glaring down at him. He scoffs, mocking Juhi for bringing a beggar into her house, clearly irritated that this guy is just sitting there eating without a care in the world. Blondie steps right in front of Kang, but Kang doesn't even look up. He's too busy savoring the kimchi. This blatant disregard pushes Blondie over the edge. He kicks the table hard, sending everything flying. In Kang's mind, it all happens in slow motion. The kimchi he loves so much, soaring through the air. Juhi's face turns pale. She thinks her brother might actually hurt Kang next. Blondie, satisfied, crushes the fallen kimchi under his foot, grinding it into the floor. Kang watches, his expression frozen as his favorite food is destroyed right in front of his eyes. It's like his entire world shatters in that moment. Kang's face contorts in shock, and then as if a dam has broken inside him, he starts to wail. Tears stream down his face, and he collapses to the ground, crying like a child who's lost everything. Blondie, taken aback, stares down at him, baffled by this reaction. He wonders if Kang is truly just a beggar, someone Juhi picked up off the streets. Even Juhi is surprised, watching Kang so be uncontrollably. Kang doesn't care about anyone's gaze. He's crying his heart out, mourning the loss of his kimchi. Blondie, growing impatient, decides he's had enough. He tries to kick Kang out of the house, calling him a beggar and demanding that he leave immediately. But Kang's crying stops abruptly. He looks up, his eyes burning with a deadly glare. It's a look that sends a chill down Blondie's spine. For a brief moment, Blondie feels like he's staring into the eyes of a demon, something far more terrifying than any metahuman he's faced. Kang, with a voice cold as ice, utters just one sentence: "How dare you spill my kimchi stew?" After that, Kang keeps repeating the same thing over and over, like a broken record, about how Blondie threw his kimchi stew on the floor. Blondie watches him, getting more and more pissed off. Kang's crying and ranting irritates him to no end. Blondie's patience wears thin, and in a fit of anger, he activates his blue flame, ready to kill Kang right then and there. But deep down, Blondie can't shake the feeling of unease. He's still shivering, remembering the demonic energy he sensed inside Kang. It was as if he'd glimpsed a demonic being lurking within Kang's body. Blondie tries to convince himself it was all an illusion, a figment of his imagination. Steeling himself, he prepares to strike, planning to end this nonsense once and for all. But before he can attack, Juhi steps in with her staff, distracting Blondie. She shouts at Kang, telling him to run away. But Kang isn't in the mood to run. He's angry. He's in full-on action mode. Kang pulls out his demonic blade, his face dead serious as he steps up to fight Blondie. Juhi watches in shock, not expecting this turn of events. Blondie launches his attack, trying to engulf Kang with his blue flame, but Kang dodges effortlessly. He moves with a strange fluidity, as if he knows where every attack is going to land. This leaves Blondie upset and confused. He can't understand how Kang, with such low magic power, is able to dodge his attacks so easily. Blondie knows he's faster, yet it feels like Kang is predicting his every move. Unbeknownst to Blondie, Kang has achieved something close to Ultra Instinct, reacting purely on instinct. The next moment, Kang switches to attack mode, rushing in and delivering a punch to Blondie's back. Blondie expects a kick, but it was a feint, a distraction. The punch lands hard on Blondie's spine, but it isn't strong enough to do much damage. Blondie feels only a minor sting, making him even more upset. In response, Blondie channels all his magic power into his right hand, preparing for a full-powered strike aimed straight at Kang's face. Kang, with a sly smirk, pretends he's about to punch, but instead delivers a swift kick to Blondie's ribcage. The impact almost breaks Blondie's ribs, but Kang's attack still isn't strong enough. Blondie grabs hold of Kang's leg, trying to pin him down, but Kang is quicker. He follows up with a powerful kick from his left foot, smashing Blondie's nose. Blood starts pouring out, staining the ground. Kang doesn't stop there. He swings his demonic blade, aiming for Blondie's neck, and their fight rages on for what feels like an eternity. Blondie can't land a single hit on Kang. Instead, Kang kicks Blondie to the ground. Blondie lies there, staring up in shock, completely unable to grasp who this person really is. Blondie knows he's stronger than Kang, yet he can't even touch him. Lying on the ground, dazed, Blondie feels Kang's right foot pressed down on his head. Kang, with a cold, mocking smile, tells Blondie he isn't done yet. He then uses his demonic blade to slash Blondie's right hand, making him scream in agony. Kang's voice drops to a deep, menacing tone as he taunts Blondie, telling him not to cry like a child. He assures Blondie that this show is far from over and that he'll have to pay for ruining Kang's precious kimchi stew. Blondie, confused and bewildered, finally blurts out, asking why Kang is getting so angry over a small, useless dish like kimchi stew. Hearing the word useless, Kang's face contorts with even more anger. He grabs Blondie by the hair, yanking his head back violently. With a look of pure psychosis, Kang glares at Blondie and declares that the kimchi stew is not useless at all. Blondie's eyes widen in horror, finally realizing that Kang is a true psychopath. He knows common sense won't work on someone like this. He tries to apologize, sensing the danger he's in. But before he can get the words out, Kang slams Blondie's face into the floor. Kang snarls, telling him that kimchi is not a small, useless dish. He smashes Blondie's head into the ground again, making his face swell up. Blondie is on the verge of fainting, his nose completely broken. Kang leans down, bringing his lips close to Blondie's ear, and in a deep, chilling voice, he tells Blondie that he's going to play a little game. He demands that as soon as he says one, Blondie has to say kimchi stew. And when Kang says two, Blondie has to respond with, is sacred food. Without waiting, Kang begins the game. He says 1, and Blondie, terrified and in pain, chokes out kimchi stew. Kang immediately breaks Blondie's left hand, scolding him for speaking too slowly. Blondie grinds his teeth, crying out in agony. Kang, with an evil grin, repeats, 1. Blondie, screaming now, shouts, "Kimchi stew!" Kang follows with 2, and Blondie, still crying, yells, "Is a sacred food!" But Kang isn't satisfied yet. Kang kicks Blondie's face again, demanding that he scream even louder. He wants Blondie to worship kimchi stew like it's a god, like a man desperate to win the love of his life. Joo-hee watches in utter confusion, wondering if Kang is truly a psychopathic, mentally ill person. Kang, with a maniacal smile, screams at Blondie, demanding that he say it 100 times louder, that kimchi stew is sacred food. And just like that, for the next hour, Kang forces Blondie to repeat it over and over. By the time Blondie has said it more than 100 times, he's drenched in sweat, almost all the water in his body gone. He's screamed so loudly that his teeth start to crack. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, Kang, looking satisfied, gets up from the ground. He pulls the demonic blade out of Blondie's hand and, with a final smirk, tells him, "From today onwards, don't you dare call kimchi stew useless." On the other hand, Blondie lies on the ground, completely drained of energy, his body trembling. He's left wondering what the hell is wrong with this crazy bastard. After that, the scene shifts, and we see Joo-hee putting a bandage on her mom's head. Joo-hee's expression is a mix of sadness and worry, her eyes downcast. On the other side of the room, Blondie, still bleeding from her nose, is washing the utensils that she had dropped on the floor. Despite her own injuries, Joo-hee had healed Blondie, but the situation feels almost surreal to Blondie. As she scrubs the dishes, she can't help but wonder what the hell is going on with her life right now. She had come here to teach a lesson to her mom and sister, yet here she is, washing dishes like a servant. Meanwhile, Kang sits comfortably sipping tea and casually checking Joo-hee's smartphone. Blondie glances over at him, gritting her teeth. In her mind, she curses Kang, thinking that he didn't just take her pride, he even took her clothes. Kang's face is still swollen, and he's muttering under his breath, cursing about the kimchi. Blondie, in her mind, calls Kang a kimchi villain bitch, still in disbelief that he went this far just over a bowl of kimchi stew. Blondie feels a wave of frustration wash over her, questioning why she's suffering like this. But as soon as Kang gently places a cup of coffee on the table, the simple sound of it makes Blondie flinch. The fear in her eyes is unmistakable. Kang, noticing this, starts to calm down a bit, his demeanor shifting. As he begins to normalize, he looks over at Blondie, who is still visibly shaken. He asks her a question that catches her off guard. He asks if she's wondering why he got so angry over a simple kimchi dish. Blondie, swallowing hard, nods slightly but thinks to herself that she could never understand such madness. Kang's expression darkens as he gives Blondie a deadly glare. He tells her she wouldn't understand. She can sleep, eat, and breathe fresh air peacefully here on Earth. Blondie will never know how blessed she is. Kang tells her to treat her own life and the lives of others with precious care. Blondie, though scared, nods in agreement, thinking to herself that once she gets out of this place, she'll report Kang to her guild. She's confident that the guild won't let Kang go once they find out about this. But then, Kang slams his hand down on the table, making Blondie jump in fear. He casually tells her that if she's finished washing the dishes, she should come over to him. Blondie hesitates, her heart pounding, but she eventually shuffles over, standing in front of Kang like a scolded child. Kang stares her down and coldly tells her he doesn't see any reason to let her live. Blondie already knows this, and it's clear to both of them that she's not someone who can do good for the world. Blondie understands that Kang is about to kill her. Before she can react, Kang grabs Blondie's clothes, pulling her close. With bloodthirsty eyes, he tells her not to worry because he's not going to kill her. He's sparing her only because she's Joo-hee's sister. He won't kill her just yet. As he says this, Kang's demonic eyes glow with a psychopathic, creepy smile spread across his face. Suddenly, Blondie finds herself trapped in a strange illusion realm. In this realm, a giant horseman appears before Blondie with 3 eyes glaring at her menacingly. The creature is genuinely creepy, sending chills down her spine. The horseman grabs Blondie with his huge hands and starts crushing her. Every bone in Blondie's body snaps and breaks, but then she heals instantly, only to have the process repeated over and over again. It feels like an eternity of torture, but in reality, only 5-10 seconds have passed. It's as if Kang has the power of Itachi's Mangekyu Sharingan, trapping her in a nightmarish loop. Blondie's mind shatters from the experience. She's so terrified that she pisses her pants. Kang calmly explains that this spell will leave Blondie's mental state so shaken that he won't be able to tell anyone about what happened here. Anytime she tries to recall the incident, sheer terror will paralyze him, making him unable to speak of it. The scene cuts back, and we see Blondie's pants still wet. Like a soulless zombie, he slowly stumbles away, his eyes blank. Juhi watches her leave but shows no concern for her brother's mental state. She only keeps her eyes on Kong, thinking that Kong has saved her life once again. Meanwhile, Kong, while scrolling through Juhi's phone, suddenly realizes he's screwed. He remembers that he's an orphan with barely any money from the start. And now that the world has changed so much, he needs to find a way to earn money. Kong's thoughts spiral as he tries to come up with a plan. Juhi, standing behind him, continues to admire Kong's strength. Kong's attention shifts as he notices a magic stone on the table. An idea sparks in his mind and he calls Juhi over. He asks if she has a magic crystal. Juhi hands him an E-grade magic crystal from her bag, explaining that it came from the goblin Kong had killed earlier. Kong takes the crystal, examining it closely. He tries to absorb the magic inside, focusing intently. Kong had read on Juhi's phone that the darker the magic stone, the more powerful it is, with more magic stored inside. However, despite his efforts, Kong can't feel any familiar magic from the crystal. He senses some energy, but it's not the type of demonic magic he's used to. When Kang absorbed the goblin's soul, his own magic increased, leading him to conclude that the magic inside the crystal is a form of white magic. He realizes that since he hails from the demonic realm, his own magic is demonic energy. Kang figures out that if he absorbs the souls of the goblins, he can tap into his full power. The white magic inside the crystal, however, is something entirely different. Kong wonders how he might use this white magic. If he could harness both white and dark magic, he imagines how strong he could become. After thinking it over, Kong hands the crystal back to Juhi, realizing that if he wants to get stronger, he needs to go into the dungeon. And to do that, he needs an identity card. He asks Juhi if there's a place nearby where he can get one, explaining that his old ID card is lost. Juhi tells him there's a hunter association nearby where he can get a new ID card, and she's heading there too. She offers to take him along. Juhi then reflects on her own mistake. She remembers how, after her E-rank awakening, she rushed straight into a dungeon without any proper training, a reckless and stupid decision. If Kang hadn't been there, she wouldn't be alive now. She vows to become stronger before entering a dungeon again. Juhi asks Kong if, once she's strong enough, she can join him in the dungeon. Kong smiles and says yes, but deep inside, he knows he can't afford any distractions. Kang thinks to himself that if he wants to become truly powerful, he can't be distracted by fancy things like companionship or romance. He knows the Earth isn't the same anymore. There will be more powerful people out there like Blondie. If Kang wants to live a carefree life, like a lazy king, he needs to become the strongest hunter on Earth. Only then will he be able to keep everyone and everything at bay. The scene shifts, and we see Kong holding his brand new identity card, standing in the train beside Juhi. A flashback shows us how Kong casually walked into the identity center, simply saying his card was lost. In just seconds, they handed him a new one. No fuss, no questions. But instead of feeling relieved, a wave of sadness hits Kang like a truck. It's been 5 years since he vanished. Even though he was an orphan, the realization that not a single soul filed a missing report for him stings. The thought makes Kang's heart feel heavy. He's overwhelmed by the bitter taste of loneliness. Just as Kang's sinking into his depressing thoughts, Juhi's voice cuts through like a lifeline, snapping him back to reality. She excitedly tells him they're almost at the Hunter Awakening Center. Kang looks out the window, eyes widening as he sees a massive, white-colored colossal stadium rising up like a giant beacon. His jaw drops. This place is huge. It's 5 times bigger than the largest airport he's ever seen. Juhi then hands Kong a smartphone, explaining it's her old one since she noticed he didn't have a phone. Kong takes it, feeling a rush of gratitude. He silently thinks to himself, Juhi must be an angel. In his heart, he treats her like a divine blessing. Juhi informs him there's no SIM card, but her contact is saved, and he can call her whenever he connects to Wi-Fi. With a smile, she heads off for her basic training at the Awakening Center, while Kang prepares for his own awakening. Juhi is 110% sure that Kang will have a high-level awakening, guessing he'll become either a B rank or A rank. Kang steps into the Awakening Center, where crowds of people buzz with anticipation. He swipes his identity card at the Hunter Association machine, and his waiting number pops up as 18th. He feels a mix of nervousness and excitement, itching to know his rank. While waiting, Kang listens to the conversations around him. An old man announces proudly that he's ranked D rank, and boasts that D rank is actually good, considering most beginners start at E rank, or even worse, F rank, which is rarely seen. He mentions the legendary top 5 guild masters, who all awakened as S-rank hunters in their very first awakening. These people are beyond normal. They're practically gods among hunters. Intrigued, Kang quickly searches for the names of the top 5 guild masters on his phone. He learns that Korea's strongest have founded their own powerful guilds. Among them are Ja-yoon, an old veteran, and Cha-yoon, a fierce female hunter, along with 3 other dominant figures. Kang's curiosity deepens as he wonders if Korea's top 5 could be stronger than him. He questions if, at his full power, he could stand a chance against these titans. Kang then checks his status window, noticing that as his level goes up, so does his strength. He realizes that by defeating monsters and absorbing their demonic energy, the Hell Seal placed on him is slowly breaking apart. It's as if he's leveling up twice as fast. Kang thinks that if he keeps leveling up his status window character and fully unlocks his hell powers, he might become far stronger than he ever was in the demonic realm. This realization fuels his excitement, and finally, it's Kang's turn. Kang rises confidently, swaggering up to the platform. A girl with glasses greets him and instructs him to place his hand on the white crystal, pouring his magic power into it. The color of the crystal will determine his rank. As Kang places his hand on the crystal, he thinks to himself, I gotta control my magic. If he goes all out and awakens as a high rank, it'll draw too much attention, and Kang wants to stay low-key for now. The moment his hand touches the crystal, it begins to glow brightly, lighting up the entire room. Kang takes a deep breath, feeling the surge of power, briefly imagining himself awakening as an S-rank hunter. He can feel the raw potential, but he knows with great power comes great responsibility. He decides to hold back, not wanting to reveal his full strength just yet. As the glow fades, the girl at the Awakening Center smiles politely and says, "Congratulations! You've awakened as an F-rank hunter." Kang freezes, standing there as if struck by lightning. He had been expecting the typical reaction, the receptionist gasping in shock, proclaiming him as an S-rank. Instead, she's calmly telling him he's F-rank. His face goes pale, all color draining away. Kang's mind goes blank. He's stunned, unable to process what he's just heard. He had imagined this moment playing out like the scene of a main character revealing their ultimate power, but instead, he's left standing there. After that, the receptionist tells Kang he can now head to the Awakening Center for his basic training. She continues explaining the procedure, but Kang isn't paying attention. His mind is still spinning, struggling to grasp what just happened. He knows his powers are sealed, but even then he can't believe he's been classified as an F-rank. It's like a slap in the face. The receptionist, seeing Kang's blank expression, tries to reassure him. She explains that although he's ranked F, he needs to be at least an E rank to enter any dungeon gates. So she tells him they'll make an E-rank player card for him, and once he completes the basic training at the Awakening Center, he'll be as strong as an E-rank hunter. Kang hears this and laughs internally. He thinks to himself that if some demon child back in the demonic realm was told they were ranked E or F, they'd go crazy and probably wipe out half the human population out of sheer rage. But then, the memory of the demonic realm hits Kang like a tidal wave, plunging him back into depression. He shudders, feeling that familiar tentophobia creep up his spine as he remembers the demons, especially the tentacle girl. Kang quickly snaps back and asks the receptionist what he needs to do to increase his rank. The receptionist explains that after completing the basic training, he'll immediately be upgraded to E rank. Then he can enter the dungeon, and the more magic crystals he collects, the faster his rank will rise. Finally, he'll need to take a combat test to move up the ranks. Hearing this, Kang stands up abruptly, ready to leave. He tells the receptionist he's heard enough and demands his E-rank hunter card so he can head straight to the dungeon. The receptionist watches him, feeling a pang of sympathy. She assumes Kang must be devastated to learn he's only F-rank, probably thinking he wouldn't survive in a dungeon alone. But just as she's thinking this, a black bubble appears inside the magic crystal, turning the previously white crystal a deep, inky black. The receptionist's eyes widen in shock as the magic crystal within BAM broke into pieces. She's never seen anything like this before. The The crystal has never turned dark black or dark blue. The strongest color ever recorded was red, indicating an S rank. Confused, the receptionist assumes the magic crystal must be broken. Meanwhile, the scene shifts, and we find Kang standing at an E rank gate where groups of people are forming parties. Almost 99.99% of these groups are looking for hunters ranked D or higher. Kang gets annoyed as he approaches party after party, only to be rejected each time. Frustrated, he decides to enter the dungeon alone. He shows his hunter license to the guard and strides into the dungeon without a second thought. As soon as Kang enters the dungeon, a loud voice booms from behind him, calling his name. Kang turns around and finds himself face to face with a massive mountain-like figure towering over him. At first, Kang thinks it's some kind of bear monster, but then realizes it's actually a human, a huge, mountain-like man. The giant figure looks down at Kang, asking if he plans to hunt alone. Kang, unfazed, nods and confirms that he's here solo. The mountain-like man, curious, asks if Kang has completed his second awakening yet. Kang shakes his head, saying he hasn't done it yet. Hearing this, the giant man's party members look shocked, whispering among themselves. They're surprised that Kang hasn't completed his second awakening yet, which means he's likely below level 10. They quickly dismiss him, saying they don't want a weakling like Kang on their team. Kang smirks, thinking it's amusing that they assume a low-ranked hunter like him wouldn't be useful. But the giant man steps forward, introducing himself as Tai So, and insists that it's his duty to help weaker hunters. Kang feels a rare moment of appreciation, smiling back at Tai So. He thinks this guy genuinely wants to help, unlike most people he's encountered. Kang thanks Tai So, introducing himself and saying he's glad to meet someone so kind. Tai So, with a friendly grin, tells Kang there's no need for such formalities. He reveals that he's only 24 years old, despite his enormous size. Kang's face pales, shocked by Tai So's age. How could a 24-year-old look like this? Tai So notices Kang's disbelief and shows his identity card, proving his age. Kang nods, realizing Tai So isn't lying. Kang thanks Tai So once again for his offer to help, but explains that he has a secret plan to execute in this dungeon and needs to work alone. Tai So looks confused but respects Kang's decision. Before parting ways, Kang gives Tai So a warning. There's a dangerous goblin lurking in this dungeon, one that's 10 times bigger than any normal goblin. Kang advises Tai So to run if he encounters it. Tai So chuckles, thanking Kang for the tip, and they both wave goodbye as they head in different directions. The scene shifts again, and we see Kang unlocking all his senses, scanning the area with a heightened awareness. In just seconds, he locates the goblin village where hundreds of goblins are gathered. Wasting no time, Kang leaps forward, heading straight into the heart of the goblin village. After that, Kang leaps into the air, buzzing with excitement, his demonic blade flashing as he slashes through the goblins effortlessly. The goblins barely have time to react. They don't even know what hit them. One moment they're standing tall, and the next, they're sliced apart. The warrior goblins stand there in shock, their mouths hanging open, unable to comprehend what just happened. Kang flashes a smile, a twisted, psychopathic grin, as he revels in the thrill of the slaughter. He's enjoying every second of it. The goblins, on the other hand, are boiling with rage, but their anger is useless here. Kang, like a hot knife through butter, slaughters the goblins one after another, not giving them a chance to retaliate. In a matter of seconds, he's painted the ground red. The brutality of the scene leaves the remaining goblins shivering with fear. They're so terrified that they don't even attempt to attack anymore. They simply cower, too scared to make a move. But Kang, he's having the time of his life. It's like he's back in hell, where he had to fight tooth and nail every single day just to survive. The bloodshed awakens something inside him. He feels alive. Within minutes, Kang has wiped out the entire goblin village. Corpses of goblins litter the ground like broken toys scattered across the battlefield. Heads roll, severed hands lie in puddles of blood, and dismembered bodies are strewn everywhere. It's a massacre. Suddenly, a system notification pops up in front of Kang. The message congratulates him for defeating an E-rank goblin. Kang's eyes flicker with excitement as he sees his level has jumped by 4 points, and his demonic magic power has increased by 1. He pulls up his status window to check his progress. He's now at level 8. His first awakening ability, Gluttony, has been crucial in absorbing the demonic energy from the goblins. He's just 2 levels away from unlocking his second awakening ability. Kang scans his stats. Strength 9, Stamina 8, Intelligence 8, Detox 10. He's a bit surprised. He didn't expect his demonic energy to increase just from leveling up, but there's no time to dwell on it. He quickly refocuses on the task at hand, remembering why he came here in the first place. Kang sits down on the blood-soaked ground and activates his gluttony skill. As soon as he triggers gluttony, Kang starts absorbing the goblins one by one, pulling their essence into his body like a black hole devouring stars. He tries to absorb the magic stones as well, but something's off. The magic in the stones feels different. Kang can't seem to absorb it. He realizes it's because the magic in these crystals is white magic, while he wields dark magic. It's like oil and water. They just don't mix. Kang smirks, feeling a rush of satisfaction. By devouring all the goblins, he's managed to boost his demonic energy significantly. And the leftover magic crystals? They're a gold mine. He can sell them for a hefty price. 1 arrow, 2 birds. Kang gathers the magic crystals, his mind drifting to thoughts of chicken, not just any chicken, but a delicious meal shared with Juhi. He smiles, almost tasting the crispy skin and tender meat as he stuffs the crystals into his bag. Just as he finishes, a deafening roar echoes from behind him. Kang spins around, his eyes narrowing as he spots a massive, mountain-like monster charging straight at him. It's a beast unlike any he's faced before. Towering and covered in thick, rough skin, with feet the size of tree trunks and a face twisted in rage. Kang immediately notices the huge meat chopper clutched in the beast's hand, gleaming with a wicked edge. But there's something else, something that makes Kang pause for a second. This monster isn't just a mindless brute, it's using magic, and not just any magic, white magic. Kang's eyes widen in surprise. Up until now, he hasn't seen any goblins or monsters using magic, let alone white magic. The realization sends a thrill through him. The beast doesn't waste any time. It lunges forward, swinging its giant chopper, aiming to slice Kang in half. The ground shakes with each step as it barrels toward him, its eyes locked onto Kang like a predator zeroing in on its prey. The sheer force of its movement sends a gust of wind whipping past Kang's face. Kang tightens his grip on his demonic blade, a smile curling at the edge of his lips. This crazy beast wants a fight, huh? Kang thinks to himself. He steps back, readying himself for the clash. This isn't just any ordinary monster. It's a powerful foe, and Kang can feel his blood pumping with excitement. It's time to show this beast that it picked the wrong person to mess with. Although Kang was surprised to see that a monster could manipulate magic power, he didn't hesitate. He was ready to face this massive beast. With a quick flick of his wrist, Kang activates his demonic blade, channeling his demonic magic into it. He immediately locks eyes on the hobgoblin, analyzing its magic power. Kang can sense that his own demonic power is far superior to the hobgoblin's white magic. But there's a problem. Because his powers are still sealed, the hobgoblin's raw, destructive force outmatches Kang's current strength. He knows that if a single hit from that huge meat chopper lands, it could be game over for him. Kang's body is weakened, but his instincts are sharper than ever. The hobgoblin swings its massive chopper, aiming to split Kang in two. Kang dodges, barely escaping the blade's edge by a hair's breadth. The hobgoblin roars and swings again, the sheer force of its attack splitting the air. Kang, reacting swiftly, tries to block the blow by gripping his demonic blade with both hands. The impact is immense. Kang's arms tremble under the weight, confirming his suspicion. The hobgoblin's physical strength is greater than his. But Kang isn't one to give up easily. He comes up with a plan on the fly. He tilts his body to the left, deflecting the meat chopper downward into the ground. The hobgoblin stumbles, slightly off balance, and Kang seizes the moment. He lunges forward, slashing at the hobgoblin's armor with his demonic blade. A small scratch appears, but it's clear. It's not enough. Kang realizes that normal attacks won't cut it against this beast. The hobgoblin snarls, swinging wildly at Kang, but Kang's 10,000 years of battle experience in hell allow him to dodge each strike with finesse. Still, Kang knows he can't keep this up forever. His stamina is waning, and the hobgoblin's attacks are getting faster and stronger. Kang finds himself cornered in front of a large tree. The hobgoblin brings its chopper down in a crushing blow, slicing the tree clean in half. Kang, thinking fast, spots a goblin skull lying nearby. He picks it up and hurls it behind the hobgoblin. The skull lands with a hollow thud, and the hobgoblin turns its head, clearly confused. Kang's eyes light up. This was the distraction he needed. He mutters a demonic enchantment under his breath, dashing towards the hobgoblin with lightning speed. He grabs the hobgoblin by the chest and releases a demonic spell, aiming to weaken the beast. For a moment, nothing happens. Kong frowned, thinking the spell failed. But then the hobgoblin starts screaming. Its body begins to swell, muscles bulging as its size doubles in an instant. The hobgoblin roars, becoming 3 times stronger than before. With a single swing of its meat chopper, the hobgoblin slices through the entire forest behind it like a hot knife through butter. Trees are obliterated in seconds, shattered to pieces. Kang's eyes widen in excitement. He's never used this skill before. It's a low-level demonic skill, something he used in Hell to buff his enemies temporarily, making them stronger but also more confused. The drawback of the skill is severe. The target's mind regresses to that of a 2-year-old child. The hobgoblin, already a brainless monster, becomes even more erratic and wild, its attacks lacking precision. Kang smirks. This is exactly what he was hoping for. He effortlessly dodges the hobgoblin's wild swings, its movements clumsy and uncoordinated. With a swift dash, Kang slashes at the hobgoblin's knee, cutting deep and crippling its leg. The massive beast stumbles, unable to keep its balance. Kang doesn't waste a second. He goes in for the kill. In one fluid motion, Kang drives his demonic blade straight into the hobgoblin's chest, piercing its heart. The hobgoblin's eyes go wide, and it lets out a final guttural scream before collapsing to the ground with a thud. The next moment, the hobgoblin falls to the ground with a bam, its massive body hitting the dirt as Kang's demonic blade had punctured its heart. In that same moment, the hobgoblin's life is snuffed out. Kang takes a deep breath, feeling a wave of exhaustion hit him. He's frustrated, thinking how much easier it would have been if he had even 1/10 of his past power. He would have crushed the hobgoblin like an ant. Kong clenches his fists, realizing he needs to unseal his old powers ASAP. Just then, a system notification pops up, informing Kang that he's cleared an entire monster hideout by himself, granting him a 150% bonus in experience points. The system also notifies him that he has successfully defeated a C-rank boss monster, the Hobgoblin. Kang's eyes widen in shock. He can't believe he just took down a boss monster. The system chimes in again, telling him he's leveled up 3 times in one go. This puts Kang at level 11, and with it, he's achieved his second awakening. Kang feels a surge of excitement as he realizes his second special ability has been unlocked. The system notifies him that his new skill, Unstable Hunger, has been activated. This ability allows Kong to absorb even more demonic energy when using gluttony. Kang's face lights up. He's thrilled. Although Unstable Hunger isn't a high-tier skill, it has a unique perk. It lets him absorb double the demonic energy. Kong grins, knowing this will make him even stronger. If he can leverage the benefits of being a player, he's confident he'll get stronger at an insane speed. Kang wastes no time. He activates his gluttony skill and starts absorbing the body of the hobgoblin. As the corpse dissolves into dark energy, Kang taps into his Unstable Hunger ability. The result? He absorbs double the usual demonic energy. The system pops up again, notifying him that his demonic energy stat has increased by 3 points, bringing his total up to 19 points. Kang feels a rush of joy, his grin widening. With a deep breath, Kang closes his eyes and channels his demonic energy, eager to see just how powerful he's become after absorbing so much. But as soon as he taps into his power, he feels a shock run through him. He had expected his energy to be twice as strong as before, but instead, it feels like it's tripled in strength. This is good news, but it also leaves Kong feeling uneasy. The system shows 19 points of demonic energy, yet Kang can sense he's wielding far more power than that. Kong frowns, realizing there's an unknown spike in his power that might be dangerous. He needs to find out what caused this sudden surge. He closes his eyes again, concentrating deeply, and finds himself in a strange black liquid-like realm where the sky is a deep bloody red. This place is known as the Mira Demonic Gate. Kong's eyes narrow as he realizes something. The seal on his body has weakened. This is why he's able to access more demonic energy than before. Kang scratches his head, wondering what exactly caused the seal to loosen. What had he done to make the seal on his body weaken? He thinks back and realizes that the moment he unlocked his second awakening, the seal had started to crack. A psychopathic smile creeps across Kong's face as he starts laughing, his mind racing with possibilities. If he continues leveling up like this and quickly achieves his third and fourth awakenings, then maybe the seal will weaken even further. Kong grins with madness in his eyes. He's excited at the thought of accessing his old powers bit by bit. He picks up a magic crystal from the ground, still chuckling to himself, the laughter bubbling up from deep inside. The The hunger for power, the craving to level up, it's all there in his eyes, a wild, manic glint that can't be hidden. The scene shifts, and we find Kang sitting in a cozy restaurant with Juhi, happily munching on a piece of chicken. He looks genuinely content, savoring the flavor as he takes a swig of cold beer. He lets out a sigh of pleasure, saying, "This is delicious! This is the best!" Juhi, watching him enjoy his meal, decides to tease him a little. She smirks and asks, "So Kang, tell me, what was better, the kimchi I made for you or this chicken?" Kang's face immediately scrunches up in confusion and worry. This was a tough question, way tougher than facing any demon lord. Both dishes are his favorites, and it's impossible to choose. Seeing him so flustered, Juhi bursts out laughing, saying she was just kidding. She adds, "Kang, you're really a funny guy." Kang breathes a sigh of relief and thanks Juhi as she hands him another piece of chicken. He digs in, savoring every bite, while Juhi watches him with a gentle smile. But then Juhi's expression shifts slightly. She leans in and, with a curious look, asks Kang if he has any friends or family. Kang pauses, lowering his gaze. He takes a deep gulp of beer, finishing it in one go, and quietly says that he has no friends or family. In fact, he doesn't even have a place to stay. Juhi's smile fades, replaced with a look of genuine concern. She asks Kang where he plans to sleep tonight. Kang shrugs, saying he hadn't thought about it. He figured he'd hit a dungeon, sell some magic crystals, and use the money to stay at a hotel. Juhi's face softens with sympathy, and she makes an offer that leaves Kang speechless. She tells him that if he has nowhere to go, he can stay at her place. Kang's mouth drops open in shock. "Are you serious?" he asks. Juhi nods with a kind smile, explaining that he's saved her life countless times. It's the least she can do. Kang's eyes light up with happiness, and he thanks Juhi sincerely. Juhi, on the other hand, can't help but think how lonely and sad Kang must be inside. He puts on a tough front, but she can see the pain beneath his smile. Kang pulls out a stack of money from his pocket, cash he earned from selling the magic crystals, and hands it to Juhi. She tries to refuse, but Kang insists, telling her it's rent money. He'll be staying at her place and eating her food, so it's only fair she accepts it as a fee. Juhi reluctantly takes the money, her eyes filling with emotion. It's a huge sum, thousands of dollars. With a soft, emotional smile, Juhi agrees, telling Kang she'll make him kimchi for breakfast tomorrow. Kang beams at her, thinking to himself that Juhi must be an angel, the true queen of making kimchi. Before the scene fades, Kang asks Juhi if there's a D-rank dungeon nearby. Juhi nods, mentioning there's a dungeon filled with lizard men not far from here. Kang's eyes gleam as he munches on his last piece of chicken, wondering to himself with a grin, "I wonder if lizard chicken tastes as good as this." He scene shifts, and we see Juhi bringing Kang back to her house. She leads him to a room, mentioning that it once belonged to her brother, but since Kang killed him, he hasn't been back. So now, the room is free for Kang to use. Kang nods, liking the vibe of the room, and he thanks Juhi with a genuine smile. Juhi simply nods and steps out, leaving him alone. Kang turns off the lights, and as he lays down on the soft bed, he feels an overwhelming sense of relief. He can't even remember the last time he slept on something so comfortable. It's been 10,000 years of sleeping on hard, cold ground in hell, and this bed feels like heaven. Slowly, his eyes flutter shut, and for the first time in ages, Kang falls into a peaceful sleep, feeling a bit emotional. The scene cuts, and we now find Kang standing at the entrance of a dungeon gate. The place is bustling with activity, hunters everywhere looking for a healer and a tanker. Everyone's calling out for party members, but they're only asking for people above D rank. Kang notices a brown-haired hunter off to the side, desperately trying to join a group. His class is a bandit, but no one wants him on their team. Kang ignores the chaos, flashes his identity card to the guard, and steps inside the dungeon alone. This is the D-rank gate that Juhi had mentioned. Once inside, Kang activates one of his skills, the power of silence. With this, all sounds of his body movements vanish, making him completely silent. In an instant, Kang speeds off, moving like a shadow as he searches for the lizard men. A quick flashback shows Juhi explaining that lizard men are highly sensitive to sound but have terrible eyesight. She told him that it's easy to kill them one by one, but if they gather in a group, it can get dangerous. That's why Kang used the power of silence to erase his presence entirely. The lizard men don't even realize that Kang is standing right behind them. Juhi had also mentioned that lizard men are weak to fire, and any group with a fire mage can easily take them down. Kang smirks, knowing exactly what to do. He activates a low-level Hellfire skill, and his eyes turn pitch black, burning with a demonic flame. He flicks his hand, setting a small blue flame on the bodies of 3 lizard men. At first, nothing happens, but then the lizard men start to scream in panic as the flames begin to spread across their scales. The lizard men frantically try to put out the fire, jumping into a nearby pool of water, but the flames only burn brighter. Kang watches them struggle and explains to himself with a smirk, "Hellfire isn't a normal flame, it doesn't go out until its target is dead." The only way to stop it is if Kong decides to extinguish it himself. At this moment, Kong feels like he's an Uchiha using Amaterasu, the inextinguishable black flames. Finally, the lizard men are reduced to crispy ash, and Kong steps forward, activating his gluttony skill. He absorbs their demonic energy into his body, feeling a surge of power as it fills him. Just as he finishes absorbing, more lizard men rush in from behind, their eyes gleaming with rage. Kang's lips curl into a greedy smile as if he's just been presented with a delicious meal. Time passes, and the scene shows Kang standing amidst a pile of lizardmen corpses, having killed and absorbed every single one. His body feels energized, humming with newfound strength. Suddenly, a group of hunters approach from behind. They look at Kang and scoff, commenting on his cheap equipment and assuming he's a low-level beginner. The leader of the group, a guy we'll call Dumbhead, steps forward with a smug grin. He offers Kang a spot in their group, not to fight, but to carry their bags, saying they'll protect him in the dungeon since he looks like he's out of his depth. Kang, clearly annoyed, brushes past them without a word, heading deeper into the dungeon. Dumbhead watches him go, his face turning red with anger. He sneers, muttering to his party that Kang is an arrogant son of a bitch, looking like a total beginner but acting high and mighty. He vows to teach Kang a lesson. But let me tell you something. If you ever see a guy wandering alone in a dungeon with weak-looking gear, but he's got no scratches on him, you should know one thing. He's definitely the main character of the story. So if you're smart, you do well to stay far away from him. After that, the scene shifts, and we see that Kang burns and kills a lot of lizard men slowly absorbing them and increasing his level. Kang thinks to himself that he's just killing 4 or 5 lizard men one by one, which is why his level is only slowly increasing. But he knows that if he starts gathering a lot of lizard men in one spot, other hunters will become suspicious. It's better to be cautious. Suddenly, the dumbhead from earlier calls out to Kang from behind. Kang immediately recognizes him. It's the same guy who offered to Kang to carry his bag earlier. The dumbhead smirks and says he came to check if Kang was still alive. Hearing this, Kang crosses his arms and laughs, replying that as the dumbhead can see, he's perfectly fine, so he can just leave now. The dumbhead gives a smirking smile, saying he doesn't like Kang's attitude one bit. Kang, with a mocking grin, says, "If you don't like me, then why are you standing here in front of me? You want to marry me or something?" The dumbhead's face turns red with rage, and he snaps, vowing to teach Kang a lesson he won't forget. He thinks Kang will regret messing with him. In his mind, he believes that if Kang has survived alone in the Lizard Man dungeon, he might be able to reach B rank, but definitely not any higher. The dumbhead bangs his sword against his shield, creating a loud clang. His party members behind him grin, like they're watching an entertaining show. He continues to bash his shield, making a racket. Kang just stands there with a bored expression, but inside he's laughing. He finds the dumbhead's actions cute, like a child throwing a tantrum. Suddenly, a loud rumble echoes through the dungeon. The dumbhead's grin widens as he orders his mage to activate the magic barrier. He smirks at Kang and says that judging by the sound, there must be at least 15, 20 lizard men heading their way. He taunts Kang, saying he'll soon see the results of his arrogance. The dumbhead gleefully adds that he and his group will enjoy watching the lizard men eat Kang alive. He asks Kang if he's scared now and offers a deal. If Kang apologizes, they'll kill the lizard men and let him go. Kang starts laughing, loud, crazy laughter, looking up at the sky. His eyes turn pitch black, and he gives a psychopathic smile. He claps his hands together, creating a massive sonic boom that shakes the entire area. The shockwave is so strong that the dumb head and his party members cover their ears, feeling like their eardrums might burst. The trees sway violently, and the nearby water ripples from the force. Kang stomps the ground hard, creating a second sonic boom, sending another powerful shockwave through the dungeon. The dumbhead's face turns pale, his confident smirk replaced with a look of pure fear. He shouts at Kang to stop, calling him a psychopath, but Kang just stares back with a cold, emotionless gaze like a demon. The dumb head starts trembling, realizing the magnitude of what Kang has done. The sonic booms were so powerful that they must have alerted every lizard man in the dungeon. If that's true, then hundreds of lizard men will soon be swarming this area. Panic sets in, and the dumb head frantically orders his mage to start the barrier. The mage, visibly shaking, admits he's never seen so many lizard men gathering at once. The dumb head's arrogance shatters into sheer terror. He starts screaming at Kang, accusing him of trying to commit suicide and taking everyone down with him. But Kang, calm as ever, leaps up onto a high branch of a tree, looking down at the chaos below. He smirks and says, "Lizard men are sensitive to sound. I know that better than anyone." Then, with a flick of his wrist, Kang activates his stealth skill, making his entire presence disappear. The dumb head watches in horror as a huge swarm of lizard men rushes towards them, slamming into the barrier. He can't understand why the lizard men aren't attacking Kang. They act like he's not even there. The dumb head's face goes pale as he realizes Kang has a skill that makes him invisible. Kang has been controlling the sound and manipulating the fight all along. The dumb head mutters to himself in a panicked voice, "We're fucked!" Kang leans back against the tree, chuckling to himself. He watches as the lizardmen break through the barrier, attacking the dumbhead's group in a wild frenzy. The dumbhead's screams of pain fill the air, his cocky attitude vanishing in an instant. Well, remember a quote from the great god of war, "A punch in the face puts a bitch in their place." Dumbass is so scared that he can't even speak. But then, out of nowhere, the barrier around his group disappears. Dumbass looks around, shocked, and immediately turns back, screaming at his mage, demanding why he turned off the barrier, but the words get stuck in his throat when he sees it. A lizard man standing there, having punched a massive hole through the mage's stomach. The mage falls to the ground, crying out for help, but it's too late. Dumbass watches in horror, completely frozen, as his mage dies right in front of him. One by one, the rest of his teammates are devoured by the lizard men. Dumbass collapses to the ground, shaking so badly he can't even speak. He looks up and sees Kang, still sitting on the tree branch, watching the massacre like it's a show. Kang's eyes glint with amusement as he enjoys the scene unfolding below him. Desperate, Dumbass starts apologizing to Kang, begging him to save him. He pleads, his voice cracking with fear. Kang looks down, appearing as if he's about to say something helpful, but instead he just smirks and says two simple words, "Good luck." Dumbass's face twists with anger, and he screams at Kang, calling him a piece of trash, a demon. But before he can say anything else, a lizard man lunges at him, chewing him up raw. One lizard man bites off Dumbass's head, another rips apart his feet, and yet another chomps down on his little pee-pee. Kang watches the gruesome scene with a wide grin. He enjoys every bit of the violence, relishing the chaos. Time passes, and soon all the lizard men have finished feasting on Dumbass and his group. Kang descends from the tree, activating his Hellfire skill. The flames roar to life, and he burns all 200 to 300, maybe even 400 lizard men to a crisp. For Kang, this was like killing two birds with one stone. He cleared the dungeon and got rid of his enemies in one go. Once all the lizard men are reduced to ash, Kang activates his gluttony skill, absorbing their demonic energy into his body. He tries to absorb the remains of Dumbass and his group as well, but the system interrupts, notifying Kang that he can't use gluttony on players who are protected by the Giga system. Hearing the name Giga system, Kang pauses, a flicker of surprise crossing his face. He remembers that when he descended from hell, the Giga system had given him an electric shock. He pieces it together. Maybe the Giga system is the reason his powers were sealed. Kang starts connecting the dots and realizes that every person on Earth has some kind of system, like a status window, allowing them to level up and gain powers. This Giga system seems to be the one protecting the player. Kang had his suspicions all along, but now it's confirmed. He can't absorb the abilities of these people because of the Giga system's protection. But Kang just shrugs it off. It doesn't matter. He's absorbed all the lizard men, and his demonic energy has increased to a whopping 30 points. Not only has the amount of his energy gone up, but the quality of it has also improved. Kang can now use a medium-level Hellfire. Feeling his newfound power coursing through him, Kang decides to leave the dungeon and level up some more. He picks up a magic crystal lying next to Dumbass's body, slips it into his bag, and walks away, muttering to himself with a grin that he's very excited for his third awakening. The scene shifts, and we see 3 days have passed. Kang is sitting at Juhi's house, chugging down a bucket of kimchi stew. He finishes the entire bucket in one go, tears of joy streaming down his face. He's genuinely happy, crying like a kid who just got his favorite meal. Juhi, watching him, asks if he's planning to head back to the dungeon again. Kang nods, saying he'll go but promises to return before dinner. Juhi smiles and mentions that the Hunter Association is taking her to an E-rank dungeon with a safety team. She's excited, saying she's finally going to fight goblins and reach her second awakening soon. Kang congratulates her in advance, his voice filled with genuine warmth. Juhi hands him a cup of tea, but her expression shifts slightly as she tells Kang there's something she needs to warn him about. She explains that there's been news lately. Many players are dying in the dungeons. There's a mysterious group targeting and killing players, and she advises Kang to be careful. The scene shifts again, showing Kang entering the dungeon, flames dancing in his eyes. He brutally burns every lizard man in his path. Thinking about the rumors of players being killed, he laughs to himself, knowing it can't be about him. He didn't personally kill Dumbass's group. He merely used the lizard men to do it. Even if their bodies were found, it wouldn't look like a human did it. Besides, this rumor has been circulating for a while, so it clearly isn't about him. With that thought, Kang continues absorbing the demonic energy of countless lizardmen. Suddenly, the system notifies him that he's reached level 20, unlocking his second awakening. Kang feels a surge of power, his body tingling with the newfound magic. He activates his Hellfire, testing the limits of his magic. The flames roar to life, 3 times larger than before, their intense heat burning everything in their path. Kang grins, realizing his Hellfire has reached a mid-rank level far stronger than before. With a satisfied smirk, Kang's suspicion is confirmed. He figures out that every time he awakens, the seal of the Mirad Demon Gate weakens, allowing more demonic energy to leak through. This is why his powers are increasing at such an insane rate. Kang's eyes gleam with mad ambition. He thinks to himself that if he keeps leveling up and unlocking more awakenings, he'll eventually break the seal completely. And when that happens, he'll be able to access all of his past powers. Kang picks up another magic crystal from the ground, his heart pounding with excitement. He's ready for what's next, ready to unleash the full extent of his demonic abilities on this new world. After that, the system notifies Kang that his third awakening special ability is called the Demon Who Desires Magic, an A-rank skill. By using this, Kang can convert the magic inside normal magic stones into demonic energy and absorb it. Seeing this, Kang is shocked. Until now, he wasn't able to absorb the white magic inside the magic crystals. So Kang decides to test it immediately, activating his gluttony skill. The moment he does, the magic crystal starts melting, the white magic inside it slowly turning into dark magic. Kang watches in awe as he successfully absorbs the magic. This is a jackpot for Kang! Now, not only can he absorb the demonic energy of the monsters he kills, but he can also absorb the demonic energy from the magic stones within them. This means double the demonic energy. Kang feels a twinge of guilt because he could have made a fortune selling those crystals. But then again, he's already sold so many. He doesn't need the money anymore. So, Kang decides to use all the magic crystals he's collected, absorbing even more demonic energy. Once he's finished, though, he feels a bit bored. It's time to kill the boss of this dungeon and move on to a higher-level dungeon. Kang crouches slightly and then launches himself into the air, pushing off the ground with tremendous force. As he jumps, he activates his demonic wing, which wraps around him like a dark aura. He soars through the dungeon, searching for the boss, when suddenly he hears a voice echoing in the distance. Following the sound, Kang spots a man with red hair, threatening someone with his group of thugs. Kang's ears perk up. He recognizes the voice immediately. It's the same bandit who was begging to join a party earlier. Blood drips from his forehead, and he's being shielded by a massive, mountain-like figure. The guy who offered Kang a spot in his party before. Taiso yells, standing firm, saying he won't let anything happen to his teammates. He demands to know why these attackers want to kill his group. Let's call this red-haired man and his crew Dumbass Number 2. He and his men are relentless, but Taiso barely manages to block their strikes with his shield. The attackers grow frustrated, realizing Taiso is a high-level awakener. They didn't expect him to be so sturdy and powerful. They mutter that Taiso would make a perfect sacrifice. So braces himself, activating his shield again, and yells that he won't let anything happen to his team. Meanwhile, the red-haired man, let's call him Musclehead, steps forward, licking the blade of his axe with a twisted grin. He tells So he's going to enjoy slicing him into pieces. Kang watches from behind a tree, immediately recognizing So as the kind guy who tried to help him earlier. Kang debates for a moment whether he should intervene, but then something catches his eye. Kang sees demonic energy swirling around the axe in Musclehead's hand. This startles Kang. Without hesitation, he jumps in between So and Musclehead, ready to protect him. Musclehead looks at Kong, demanding, "Who the hell are you? Are you with So's party?" So's jaw drops, equally shocked to see Kong. Musclehead and Dumbass Nuntu laugh, deciding that since Kong has seen them, they can't let him live. They plan to sacrifice him, too. Musclehead, smirking, raises his demonic blade and charges at Kong with lightning speed, aiming to cut his neck. But Kang doesn't flinch. He just stands there, calm and collected, as if he couldn't care less. In the next instant, Kang slaps Musclehead across the face. Musclehead is sent flying, crashing to the ground as if he was hit by a truck. Dumbass. No. And his men are stunned, their jaws dropping in disbelief. Even So is at a loss for words. Dumbass, no. Turns to Musclehead, asking if he made a mistake. Did he trip or something? Musclehead, dazed, starts to say something's wrong here. But before he can finish, Kang steps forward and slaps him again. And again! The sound of each slap echoes through the forest like a thunderclap. Kong doesn't stop. He keeps slapping Musclehead over and over. So stands there, bewildered, unable to process what he's witnessing. He's never seen anything like this in his life. Musclehead's crew finally snaps into action. One of them, brandishing a demonic blade, lunges at Kang. But Kang casually punches him in the face, sending him flying backward. He smashes into a tree and drops unconscious immediately. Kang turns his focus back to Musclehead. He grabs him by the hair, lifting him off the ground. With a deep, menacing voice, Kong asks, "How did you access the demonic energy?" Musclehead, shaking with fear, tries to stutter an explanation, but Kang cuts him off with another powerful slap. Kong still holds Musclehead by the hair, lifting him up once more with a deep, threatening voice. He asks for the last time, where did he get the demonic energy from? But Musclehead still doesn't answer, just keeps mumbling that he can't speak. His face is so swollen he can barely get the words out. Kang's patience snaps, so he activates his power of dread. The terrifying horseman demon appears again, right in front of Musclehead. The demon grabs Musclehead's face and starts crushing it, slowly breaking every bone in his body. This process repeats for what feels like thousands of days, until Musclehead pees his pants out of sheer terror. In real life, it only lasts a few seconds, but for Musclehead, it's an endless nightmare. He's screaming, begging for help, calling out to his guildmaster. The guildmaster standing behind warns Musclehead, telling him not to say anything or it will be very bad for him. Kang just flicks his hand, creating a small light magic blast, and the dumbass guildmaster is thrown back, crashing into the ground. Kang turns back to Musclehead, his voice cold and deadly. He demands once more for all the information. Which guild, what ritual, and why they have demonic energy. Finally, Musclehead breaks down, revealing that he's from the Andras Guild. He blurts out that the Andras Guildmaster is behind everything. Kang recalls that the other dumbass killed by the lizard men earlier was also from Andras Guild. This realization brings a twisted grin to Kang's face. He enjoys torturing these guys. Musclehead, sobbing, explains that his guildmaster performs a strange ritual that grants participants dark magic. Kong leans in, demanding more details, but Musclehead hesitates, crying and stuttering. Kong, frustrated, grabs Musclehead's face harder, activating his illusion torture, the Thousand Needle of Death. In the illusion, the horse demon crushes Musclehead over and over again for another 1,000 days. Finally, Musclehead breaks completely, ready to reveal the ritual. But before he can speak, the nerves in his body explode. Pop, 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 until with a loud splat, Musclehead bursts like a balloon, spraying blood everywhere. Kong steps back, his face twisted in disgust. He realizes that the Andras Guild must have placed a cursed seal on Musclehead, preventing him from revealing their secrets. Just then, So calls out from behind, approaching Kang with a look of gratitude. So comes to Kang, thanking him sincerely. The E-rank player, who was unconscious before, wakes up and explains to So that it was Kang who saved them. So, still in shock, admits he thought Kang was just a low-level player when they first met. Kang, thinking quickly, makes up an excuse, saying he only came to the E-rank dungeon for an investigation. So's eyes widen in admiration. He believes it immediately. Taiso thanks Kang again, shaking his hand. Taiso's hand is massive, like a bear paw, easily 5 times the size of Kang's hand. Kang wonders how Taiso even uses a normal phone. He probably needs an iPad the size of a TV screen. Taiso, genuinely happy, tells Kang that once they get out of the dungeon, they'll report the Andras Guild to the authorities. The word authority sounds unfamiliar to Kang. Taiso notices Kang's confusion and explains that there's a special unit outside the government responsible for handling these types of incidents. Kang pauses for a moment, then tells Taiso not to report this incident. He insists that he will handle it alone. Kang states that he will take down the Andras Guild by himself. Hearing this, Taiso bows his head to the ground, his eyes sparkling with admiration. Taiso thinks Kang is a man of great justice, believing he went to the low-level dungeon specifically to punish the evil Andras Guild members. Taiso starts breathing heavily, like an excited bull. He loves people who are always driven by justice. Taiso says Kang is incredible. He bows deeply, saying that because of Kang's strong sense of justice, he now acknowledges Kang as his brother. From today onward, Taiso declares that Kang is his brother, and he will do anything for him. Kang looks at Taiso, and for a moment, he sees a familiar face. Balak. Taiso's enthusiasm, his loyalty, it's just like Balak. After that, the low-level hunter thanks Kang from the bottom of his ass. He's practically bowing, saying he will repay Kang 110% in the future. Kang then remembers this is the same low-level hunter who was begging everyone to join his party earlier. Now the hunter starts admiring Kang, declaring that he will definitely become strong like Kang one day and will bring justice, just like him. Kang gets an idea while looking at Taiso. Casually, he asks, "What level is he?" Taiso grins and says he's at level 12. He adds proudly that during his first awakening he achieved a C rank, and there's a good chance he might advance to B, C, or even A rank soon. Taiso reveals with excitement that he recently achieved his second awakening, and it's an A rank awakening. Kang's eyes widen, genuinely surprised, and he asks why Taiso hasn't joined any guild yet. After all, an A-rank hunter like him would be highly sought after. Taiso chuckles, explaining that he was thinking about which guild to join, but now he doesn't need one. Kang looks confused, but Taiso clenches his fists with excitement, saying that he has made up his mind. He will follow Kang for the rest of his life. Kang raises an eyebrow, looking skeptical, but Taiso bursts into laughter, pounding his chest like he made the best decision ever. Kang realizes that if Taiso has already upgraded to a rank in his second awakening, then with his third and fourth awakenings, he'll definitely become an S-rank hunter. Kang thinks about Juhi. She's close to achieving her second awakening too. Kang decides it's time to form a team with Taiso and Juhi. Taiso looks thrilled when he hears this. He pulls out his iPhone, which looks tiny in his massive hands, almost like a toy. Kang can't help but wonder, how does he even dial numbers with those fingers? Taiso hands over his number, and they exchange contact. Taiso is practically jumping with joy, saying that when Kang calls him, he'll come running in a second. With that, Taiso and the low-level hunter leave, looking like they're on Cloud 9. The focus shifts back to Kang, who turns his attention to Dumbass, still lying there, unconscious. Kang grabs him by the neck, slamming him against a tree. Dumbass's eyes snap open, wide with shock. Kang looks down at him and says that if Dumbass tells him what he wants to know, Kang will let him go. He won't kill him, Dumbass, now fully aware and terrified, starts regaining his senses. Even Taiso, standing nearby, looks a bit scared of Kang's brutality. Dumbass finally admits that he is the vice leader of the Andras Guild. He explains that he was ordered to capture a high-level player in the dungeon. Kang, narrowing his eyes, asks why they wanted the player captured. Dumbass, looking confused, says he doesn't remember. Without a word, Kang throws a hard punch straight at Dumbass's face, sending him crashing to the ground. Kang grabs a fistful of Dumbass's hair, yanking his head up. He asks if Dumbass remembers what Kang said earlier, that if he pisses him off even a little more, Kang will torture him so badly that he won't find peace even in hell. Dumbass, now trembling with fear, agrees to give all the information. He explains that the guild leader wanted the high-level player alive for a sacrifice. Kang gets curious and asks about the type of sacrifice. Dumbass hesitates, his face going pale, and says that there's a system set up within the guild. If he reveals any details about the sacrifice, he'll die instantly, just like Musclehead did. Kang realizes this and throws Dumbass aside like a rag doll. An idea flashes through Kang's mind, and his face twists into a psychopathic smile, his eyes glinting with a demonic glow. He grabs Dumbass again, pulling him close, and says that from now on, he will have to do whatever Kang says. If he obeys Kang, then Kang will let him live. After that, the scene shifts, and we're shown a dark alley. Dumbass is dragging a suitcase, making his way through the alley where a bunch of rats are scurrying around. In the darkness, a creepy, white-haired man with long hair stands there holding a torch. He looks at Dumbass and asks, "Did you bring the sacrifice?" But as soon as he sees Dumbass's face, the white-haired man's eyes widen. He's surprised. He asks Dumbass, "How did you get such a big scar on your face? Weren't you just in a D-rank dungeon? You shouldn't have gotten hurt this badly there." Dumbass doesn't answer directly. Instead, he mutters that Musclehead is dead. Hearing this, the white-haired guy gets confused. He can't understand how Musclehead could have died in a D-rank gate. Dumbass explains, his voice shaking, that a high-level hunter showed up unexpectedly. That's why Musclehead died, and it's also why Dumbass ended up in this condition. But throughout the whole conversation, Dumbass is terrified. He can't even look the creepy white-haired man in the eye. He keeps staring at the ground. Dumbass tells him that it was the same high-level hunter they were supposed to capture, but things went wrong, and Musclehead died in the process. The white-haired guy opens the suitcase, revealing the hunter's body, barely alive, breathing shallowly. The white-haired man grins with delight, pleased with what he sees. He tells Dumbass that he's brought a high-rank hunter, which means today, Dumbass can finally perform the baptism. This ritual will bring demonic energy into Dumbass's body. Hearing this, Dumbass's face goes pale with fear. He suddenly turns around and starts running, yelling that he wants nothing to do with this anymore. He runs like his life depends on it, leaving the alley as fast as he can. The white-haired man watches him go, shaking his head and thinking that Dumbass must be sensitive, still grieving over Musclehead's death. He assumes Dumbass's mental state isn't good. The scene shifts and the white-haired man steps inside a creepy red hall. Everyone inside is dressed in black robes, giving off an eerie vibe. At the center, we see the guild leader wearing a demonic mask. The white-haired man approaches the guild leader and gives him a report about what happened, how Musclehead died, and how Dumbass ran away, likely due to his poor mental condition. The guild leader, with his yellow eyes glowing through the mask, asks, "Did Dumbass at least bring the sacrifice?" The white-haired man nods eagerly, saying that yes, the high-rank hunter who caused them trouble has been brought here. The guild leader's eyes gleam with satisfaction. The white-haired man drags the hunter's body to the center, laying it before the guild leader. With a twisted grin, the guild leader starts the ritual. He places the hunter's body inside a magic circle and sets down a box filled with magic crystals. He begins chanting, his voice echoing through the hall. The guild leader declares that since the vice leader isn't here, he himself will absorb all the demonic energy this time. He slams his staff on the ground, and the magic circle expands, creating a loud boom. Suddenly, a crack appears in the air, and a thick, dark magic seeps out of it, heading straight into the hunter's body. The guild leader places one hand on the hunter's face, while with the other, he absorbs the dark energy. As the demonic energy flows into the guild leader, he starts twitching, his body shaking with pleasure. He's having the time of his life, feeding off the dark power. On the other hand, the hunter's body begins convulsing violently as the demonic energy floods into it. The guild leader explains to the cultists that if he were to take all this dark energy directly, his body wouldn't be able to handle it. He'd die instantly. That's why they need a medium, a high-level hunter, to absorb the energy first. Only then can the guild leader safely consume it, refining the demonic power without damaging his own body. This process will continue as long as the hunter is alive. The stronger the hunter, the more demonic energy they can absorb, and the more power the guild leader will be able to drain. But as the ritual progresses, the guild leader notices something strange. The hunter is absorbing far more demonic energy than expected. 5 times, 10 times, even 25 times the usual amount. The guild leader's twisted grin grows wider. He starts laughing maniacally, saying, "He must be a very high-rank hunter to absorb so much." But then, things take a turn. The hunter absorbs 50 times the usual amount of demonic energy, and the guild leader's smile fades into a look of fear. He's surrounded by a thick black fog of demonic energy swirling around him like a storm. He starts to panic, his eyes darting around. He screams, "Why the hell is this sacrifice not stopping absorbing demonic energy?" Well, bro's feeding a cat milk and asking why it's drinking. What a joke. He wanted to become a demon by sacrificing a demon king. Right now, the Kang is just sitting there, getting some free food. Kong absorbs so much demonic energy that the Guildmaster is left terrified, his face twisted in panic as he shouts, "Stop! Stop!" But Kong doesn't stop. Suddenly, with a loud bang, there's a massive blast of force. The Guildmaster is blown back, landing a few feet away. He's in complete shock, unable to grasp what's happening. Kang slowly gets up from his spot, a sinister smile on his face. He casually says, "Thanks to your ritual, I just leveled up my stats by 20 points. Hearing this, the Guildmaster's face goes pale, his jaw dropping open. He looks at Kang, shivering in fear, and manages to stutter, How are you alive?" Kang, with a seductive smirk, looks at the Guildmaster with a twisted sort of affection. He tilts his head and says, "Whatever you just did to me, can you do it one more time?" Kang wants to feel the Guildmaster's energy inside him again. Kang liked it a lot. The Guildmaster just sits there, stunned, unable to speak. Kang gives him a seductive smile, almost begging, and says, "Let's do this ritual again. Put your energy into me." But the Guildmaster's confusion quickly turns to rage. He screams, activating a tiny hellfire in his hand, and throws it at Kang. Kang simply dodges it with ease. The Guildmaster, now fuming, activates the tiny hellfire once more and hurls it at Kang again. But this time, Kang looks at the small flame with an amused expression, almost as if he's looking at a child's toy. Kang smirks, thinking, "I never thought I'd see a human wielding hellfire, even outside of hell." Kang decides it's time to show his own power. He releases just 5% of his demonic energy, and suddenly, a demonic armor forms around his body. The Guildmaster's eyes widen in shock. He can't believe what he's seeing. How is he using demonic energy? The Guildmaster mutters, his voice trembling. In a fit of rage, the Guildmaster commands all his followers to attack Kang. The followers rush at him, but Kang simply unleashes his demonic blade. He moves like a specter, slicing through them like they're nothing but vegetables. One by one, in mere seconds, every guild member is cut down. But instead of panicking, the Guildmaster starts laughing, his voice echoing in the cavern. He shouts, "That was just a distraction!" He begins summoning a huge hellfire, flames swirling around him. The Guildmaster looks confident, assured of his victory. Kang, however, just tilts his head and bursts into laughter, almost as if he's heard the world's funniest joke. He smirks and says, "Why is the Guildmaster's thing so small?" Hearing this, the Guildmaster's face turns red with rage. He shouts back, "Do you know how much demonic energy it takes to control a hellfire this large? You can't even imagine the insane level of control needed." But in a blink, Kang activates his own hellfire. The ground trembles as Kang's hellfire erupts, towering over the Guildmaster's flames. The Guildmaster's once impressive hellfire now looks like a mere candle flame, dwarfed by the humongous blaze emanating from Kang. The Guildmaster's expression is priceless. His face twists in pure terror. He accepts his fate, realizing that death is certain. Kang steps forward slowly, his face contorting into a psychopathic smile, his eyes glowing with a creepy light. He drags his hellfire closer, inch by inch, towards the Guildmaster. The Guildmaster knows he can't escape. He disappears his own hellfire and falls to his knees, bowing down in front of Kang. He calls out in a shaky voice, "Demon Lord, you are the great incarnation of Andras." The Guildmaster's words make Kang pause for a moment, a look of confusion flashing across his face. He's bewildered and almost amused by the misunderstanding. The Guildmaster begins worshipping Kang like a god, saying that they have been performing rituals and prayers, waiting for Kang's arrival all this time. He declares that whatever orders Kang gives, they will obey without question. Kang stands there, momentarily stunned, not sure what to say. But then the Guildmaster turns to his followers and scolds them, demanding that they all bow down in front of their god. Seeing this, Kang gets a brilliant idea. He thinks to himself, "I'll act as a demon god. After all, Kang is the king of all demon gods." Kang activates his demonic wings, rising into the air, hovering above the Guildmaster and his followers. He declares in a booming voice, "I am the demon god, the great Andras! I am the king of hellfire and the king of all demons!" With that, Kang starts laughing loudly, his laughter echoing through the entire dungeon. The Guildmaster looks up, his face filled with awe and fear. He's completely convinced that he is in the presence of a true deity, and his entire body trembles as he kneels before Kang, amazed by the spectacle unfolding before his eyes. After that, Kang tells all the followers to go and stop the Guildmaster because he needs to talk to him about something important. Kang then sits in the guildmaster's seat in a very stylish way, crossing his legs and leaning back like he owns the place. He asks the guildmaster, "What's your name?" The guildmaster nervously replies, "My name is Cho Dekiyun, Great Andras." Hearing this, Kang waves his hand dismissively and says, "You don't need to say all this useless stuff anymore. All your followers have left. Now tell me everything, truthfully." The guildmaster looks confused, unable to understand what Kang is talking about. In an instant, Kang grabs the guildmaster's collar and asks him in a threatening tone, "Who taught you these demonic ceremonies? And how are you creating this crack using the magic stone?" The guildmaster, trembling, explains that he's been performing these rituals out of devotion. He tells Kang that many days ago, a man in a demon mask approached him and promised eternal life if he followed the demonic religion. Kang, narrowing his eyes, asks, "Why did you start following him just because he said so?" The guildmaster responds, "Not just because he said it, but because he was very strong. He defeated my entire guild with one blow and gave us two choices, either follow his orders or die. So, they chose to follow the orders. Since then," the guildmaster says, "they have been following every order from that masked man. The orders," he reveals, "come to him through mail." Kang realizes that at first, the ritual was started by threats, but later the guildmaster continued it willingly, driven by his hunger for immortality. Kang starts to think, who could this masked man be? He looks at the rituals and understands that someone knows how to send people to hell. This is something Kang cannot ignore. He demands all the letters in which the guildmaster received these orders. Without hesitation, the guildmaster hands over all the letters to Kang. Kang reads through the letters and pieces together the puzzle. The masked man's orders are all about absorbing demonic energy and involving as many players as possible to turn Earth into hell. Kang gets a strong feeling that this guildmaster is not the only one following the masked man's orders. There must be more people involved in this. Now Kang is completely frustrated. He grabs the guildmaster by the throat and in full anger shouts, "I know what you're doing. You're trying to turn this world into hell." Kang then gives him 3 orders. First, find out who else is performing this ritual. Second, never perform this ritual again. And third, don't tell anyone what happened between him and Kang. The guildmaster, sweating and terrified, nods quickly, agreeing to all of Kang's conditions. Kang shoves him aside and says, "Get lost!" Kang starts thinking, this isn't just a one-time sacrifice, it's been going on for years. If Kang starts investigating this deeply, the government will find out about him, which would be very bad. So Kang decides to use his power of dread to ensure that no information gets leaked. He knows this will be difficult, but it's necessary. Today has been a long, tiring, and hard day for Kang, and now he desperately needs some relief. For that relief, he heads straight to Juhi's place. As soon as he walks through the door, Juhi asks, "What happened? I called you so many times and you didn't answer." Kang gives her a reassuring smile and says, "There's nothing to worry about. Everything's fine." He thanks her for taking care of him and promises that next time, he'll contact her if he's ever late. Juhi blushes, her cheeks turning pink, and she tells Kang that she's making his favorite dish, kimchi. Hearing the word kimchi, Kang's mouth starts watering instantly. He grabs her hand and says, "Thank you." He also tells Juhi that he had his second awakening during today's hunt. Juhi's eyes light up with joy and she exclaims, "You've become a B-rank hunter now. This is amazing news." Juhi starts planning excitedly, saying that if this continues, she will form a strong party with Kang and Taiso. They'll have a high-rank healer and a powerful tanker, and their guild will be unstoppable. Kang asks Juhi how many guild offers she's received so far. Juhi replies that she's had many offers, but she doesn't want to join any guild. She just wants to help Kang. Hearing this, Kang feels a surge of happiness. He looks at Juhi like she's an angel. Juhi then tells Kang that her second awakening has also opened, but still, Kang can't take her into his team yet. If they form a team now, Kang won't be able to engage in serious battles and gain the battle experience he needs. Plus, it could be dangerous for Juhi. Kang gently forbids her, advising her to form a team with another tanker first. He tells her that once she's leveled up and gained more experience, then they can team up together and hunt higher-ranked monsters. Juhi feels a bit relieved, agreeing with Kang's plan. She says she'll level up as fast as she can and join his team as soon as possible. Until then, Juhi promises to sponsor all of Kang's needs. Hearing this, Kang feels a warm sense of gratitude. He's ready to eat the special kimchi that Juhi has made for him. This time, it's not just any ordinary kimchi, it's a special kimchi, which Juhi named Ramyun kimchi. Kang picks up a spoon, ready to take a bite. But suddenly, the memory of the masked man flashes in his mind. He wonders, why does this guy want to turn Earth into hell? When I was in hell, I couldn't even find food, but here on Earth I have my favorite kimchi. Kang clenches his fist and swears to himself. He will protect the Earth, himself, and most importantly, this kimchi from those people who threaten his world. The next morning, Kang heads over to the Player Support Center. He asks for his updated ID card since he's now leveled up and become a C-rank hunter. He needs a new, shiny C-rank ID card, but the authority present there tells him that it will be delivered to his address tomorrow. Hearing this, Kang feels disappointed. He wanted that card today, but C-rank cards take time for official processing. Feeling upset, Kang steps out of the Player Center and realizes that ever since he's returned to Earth, he hasn't had any fun. He hasn't even enjoyed a single rest day. Seeing so many people bustling around, Kang thinks to himself, what should I do to really enjoy today? 5 years ago, whenever Kang felt bored, he used to read webtoons or novels because he didn't have much money, but now, times have changed. Now he has money. He starts thinking about what new and exciting thing he could do to enjoy himself. Just then, his eyes fall on a PC zone. It's a place where people come to play online games. Kang steps inside the PC zone and sits down on one of the comfy chairs. He leans back, feeling the comfort he hasn't experienced in years. As he explores the screen a bit, he realizes he can even order food from his seat. The best part? He can order his favorite Ramune drink. Seeing this, he gets very happy. He orders a ramen and decides to play the most popular game. The game he chooses looks just like his real life. He has to pick 5 team members and form a party to go hunting. Kang gets excited. He selects an attacker role, which matches his specialty in real life. As soon as he starts playing, Kang's eyes go wide open. The game feels so real, like a mirror of his life. He earns coins for every demon he kills in the game. While Kang is enjoying the game, his ramen order arrives. He takes a sip and feels a wave of happiness. The joy of sipping his favorite ramen while playing his first online game is clearly visible in his eyes. However, since it's his first time playing, his character dies very quickly. Before Kang even realizes what happened, his character is dead. And then suddenly, he hears loud abuses from behind him. He turns around, a bit surprised, wondering why someone's cursing at him. He sees a red-haired girl wearing a cap, looking frustrated and angry. Kang, confused, asks her, "Who are you?" The girl, still fuming, continues hurling abuses at him. She yells that it's all Kang's fault. Because of him, she lost the match and her ranking dropped significantly. Kang doesn't understand why she's so mad. The girl then notices the ramen on his table and shouts, "Are you seriously playing and eating at the same time?" The girl's face looks terrified as she politely orders Kang to get up and run away immediately. But Kang, still baffled, has no idea why she's acting like this, and in return, asks the girl who she is. This pisses the girl off, and suddenly, she attacks Kang, but Kang easily dodges her move. The girl stands there, shocked, wondering how he managed to dodge her attack so effortlessly. Kang, in his usual chill tone, asks, "Why are you trying to fight me?" The girl, even more furious now, attacks again, but Kang dodges once more. What follows is a hilarious scene where the girl keeps attacking and Kang effortlessly dodges every attack. It looks like Kang is using Ultra Instinct, dodging her moves as if it's second nature. The girl becomes confused, thinking, "Who is this guy? He looks like an ordinary person, but how is he dodging my attacks so easily?" Then the red-haired girl became serious, her eyes deadly focused. She prepared her hand to catch Kang, and once again she tried to grab him, but Kang easily dodged her attacks. Minutes passed like this. The girl kept trying to catch Kang with all her might, but she was unable to land a single hit, even at the bitter end. The girl stood there in shock, unable to believe she had been outspeed. Finally, in a deep voice, she asked, "Who are you? Which guild do you belong to?" Well, yes, Kang had been sent by her river guild in the game to D-rank her, lol. Kang says he's not part of any guild. Hearing this, the girl gets even more angry and accuses him of lying. She demands the truth, insisting that he tell her which guild he's from since she herself belongs to one of the strongest guilds, called Red. But Kang ignores her and walks away. This enrages the girl even more, and she shouts, "You can't leave until I'm done talking?" Kang, showing no interest, replies, "I have no interest in listening to you." Feeling humiliated, the girl steps forward, determined to teach him a lesson. Kang remarks that a D-rank hunter can't be a D-rank without being in a guild. He then shows her his player card. The girl's eyes widen in shock. She can't believe it. Kang is indeed a D-rank hunter. She starts thinking, How can a beginner hunter of such a low rank dodge my attacks so easily? She's puzzled, knowing that if it were any other beginner, they would have been defeated in the first strike. The girl asks Kang once more, "Are you really a D-rank hunter?" Ignoring her question again, Kang simply walks away, exiting the PC zone. As soon as he steps out, he wonders, who was that girl? She was unbelievably strong. Kang shakes his hands, checking his abilities. He realizes that his power level is still low, but it seems his fighting reflexes from the past 10,000 years are still intact. It's been a long time since he's faced such a powerful opponent. He acknowledges that her attacks were dangerously close, and there was a moment when Kang's whole vision got taken over by that girl. Kang barely dodged in time. Meanwhile, the red-haired girl steps out of the PC zone and goes to a secluded place. She pulls out her phone and makes a call. She connects with the HR leader of her raid guild, revealing her name, Park Hyun-woo. The HR leader assigns Park Hyun-woo an important investigation task and instructs her to handle it alone and in secret. Park Hyun-woo tells her HR leader about her encounter with Kang at the PC zone. She describes Kang as a boy with an unusually low rank but possessing pro-level moves. Park Hyun-woo is suspicious that Kang might be one of the worshippers of the demonic religion. She believes that if it's true, Kang could be a manager, or even a higher rank within the demonic religion. The HR leader advises her to stay away from Kang, but Park Hyun-woo can't shake off the feeling of how strong Kang was. His reflexes were like Goku's Ultra Instinct. Despite his strength, Park Hyun-woo is determined not to back down. She's ready to teach him a lesson and expose his connection to the demonic religion. She still has a button from Kang's shirt in her hand, a trophy of their encounter. At the same time, Kang notices his shirt button is missing, realizing that the girl was dangerously close to overpowering him. Both of them think the same thing. Their opponent was stronger than expected. Meanwhile, Kang decides to head to the player support center to get his C-rank card. He knows he needs to level up quickly and face stronger opponents. Back in the PC zone, Park Hyun-woo checks her game stats. She sees that her rank has dropped because of Kang, leaving her fuming with anger. She curses under her breath, saying, "The next time I see Kang, I'll kill him." At that moment, Kang feels a spine-chilling sensation. He shivers, thinking to himself, "Someone out there is definitely cursing me and plotting my death." The scene shifts, and we see Kang standing in front of a high-level C-rank dungeon. To learn more about this gate, Kang picks up a flyer from the ground and reads about the types of monsters lurking inside. He confidently approaches an officer nearby and boldly declares that he wants to enter the Searing Gate to hunt. The officer immediately refuses, saying that Kang can only enter if he is a C-rank hunter and has a team of 5 people. Hearing this, Kang is shocked and asks, "Why is that?" The officer explains that a boss monster has appeared inside the Searing Gate, a dangerous and terrifying creature. If anyone goes in solo, their death is certain. Kang smirks, thinking, "Today is my lucky day. By killing that troll, I'll definitely gain a lot of levels and demonic energy. But the question remains, how will I enter the dungeon?" Kang gets an idea and starts scanning the crowd of hunters. Some of them look terrified, whispering about the dangers of facing the main boss, saying it's like inviting death. Kang senses a strange vibe emanating from this searing gate. He starts laughing like a psychopathic demon, his eyes glowing with excitement. Still smiling, he spots a group of hunters nearby who seem excited about entering the gate. Kang approaches a random hunter, places his hand on him, and activates his power of rage. The hunter's entire demeanor changes instantly. His eyes fill with rage and excitement, and all of his stats increase by 3 times. But there's a side effect. The hunters become like madmen, completely losing their senses and acting like berserk warriors. Seeing this sudden change, the hunter's friends look confused, wondering what just happened. The hunter begins recalling his past when he was weak and abused, tormented until the gates opened and he gained power. Now, with this surge of anger, he feels like he can defeat any monster. His rage and excitement start to spread among his friends. One by one, all the hunters standing there become pumped up, ready to enter the searing gate. Even the officers are shocked, seeing the hunters who were scared moments ago now rushing towards the gate with a newfound intensity. Amidst the chaos, Kang slips in behind them. As he enters the gate, he feels a wave of happiness wash over him. The landscape inside is a vast desert, with no buildings or life forms in sight. Kang thinks, what kind of place is this? How am I supposed to find the main boss in this empty desert? He considers using his demonic wings to fly and locate the boss quickly. He opens his status window and checks his stats. His demonic energy is at 53. Deciding to rely on his powers, he climbs a tall pole and uses his demonic power of observation. His eyes glow, giving him a terrifying look as he scans the area. He spots a group of creatures in the distance. They look humanoid, but not human. They are zombies, led by a main boss. The boss is standing with them, not far from Kang's position. As his observation power fades, Kang sees the hunters rushing towards the zombies, providing a perfect distraction. The hunters were still under the effect of Kang's rage spell, completely berserk. Kang smirked and ran off, leaving all the small fries to the hunters, letting them deal with the weaker monsters. Without wasting time, Kang sprinted directly toward the main boss. Finally, reaching the boss, Kang summoned his demonic blade. With all his might, he threw the sword toward the boss like a bazooka missile. The sword zoomed through the air and hit the boss right on target. The impact was so powerful that the boss died instantly. The system notification informed Kang that he had defeated the boss alone and earned a huge amount of XP. Kang leveled up 4 times in an instant. Even Kang was left confused, scratching his head, wondering how could that boss die so easily. He remembered his intense battle with the red-haired woman before, where he had to use every ounce of his power. Little did he know, that red-haired woman was one of the top hunters in Korea, an S-rank hunter. Seeing the boss die in a single blow, all the demons were shocked and terrified. Kang, on the other hand, started doubting if this was truly the main boss. To confirm, he quickly checked his status window, and, to his surprise, it was the main boss. Kang was puzzled, thinking, why was he so weak? But as he checked the boss's stats, he realized the truth. The boss was indeed very strong. It wasn't that the boss was weak, it was actually that Kang himself had become too strong. That's why the fight felt so easy. Kang smirked, thinking, if this is the case, why not go for more action? He decided to wipe out all the remaining demons, hoping to boost his stats even further. With a devilish grin, he jumped off the mountain, landing right in the middle of the demons. Now, he was ready to massacre them all together. With both of his demon blades drawn, Kang dived into the crowd, killing each demon brutally and enjoying it like a true psychopath. He used every savage method he had ever wanted to try, giving each demon a painful death. The sight of blood flying in the air made Kang very happy, almost euphoric. By killing so many demons at once, Kang's level was steadily increasing. Amidst the carnage, he suddenly unlocked a new skill, Terra Blade. Without hesitation, he decided to test his new skill, thinking there couldn't be a better opportunity than this. The Terra Blade was immensely powerful. It wiped out all the demons in one strike, but it wasn't just a kill. It was a painful, agonizing death for the demons. After the massacre, Kang activated his gluttony skill and started absorbing all the demon corpses. However, even after absorbing so many bodies, Kang noticed that his demonic energy had only increased by 2 points. He was shocked. Why only 2 points after absorbing so many demons, he wondered. That's when he remembered something. As his level gets higher, the increase in energy becomes gradual and difficult. But Kang was still leveling up faster than any normal hunter, an impossible feat for any ordinary hunter. Now, Kang needed just 4 more levels to reach his 4th awakening. Meanwhile, the other hunters were confused and frustrated. They couldn't even find an ordinary demon, let alone the main boss. They felt like they had wasted their time and were ready to complain to the officials. Just as they decided to leave the gate, Kang also walked out with them. The hunters immediately started berating the officials, asking why they had wasted their time. Among the crowd, Kang stood calmly, observing the chaos. Suddenly, a group of higher authority officials in red uniforms arrived, and they weren't just a small team. They came in large numbers. The hunters were stunned, wondering what had happened to warrant the presence of such high-ranking officers. Among them was their leader, a beautiful girl with long white hair, known as Hela. As Hala approached, the officers saluted her immediately. Hala announced that they were in search of an imposter. She explained that they needed to check everyone's ID card and requested their cooperation. The moment Kang heard the word imposter, he felt a tingle of dread. He realized they might be searching for the masked man from the demonic religion. Kang was a little worried, thinking if his secret will be safe. While Hala's officers began checking ID cards one by one, Hala herself stood there, observing everyone intently. Kang knew he had to stay calm and figure out a way to handle this situation without drawing any suspicion. After that, we are shown Kang, who comes out of the gate and sees that many government officers are checking all the players for inspection. Seeing this, Kang don't feel good. Kang thinks that the government have come to arrest him. If the government have come to arrest him, then Kong should hide and escape. But as soon as Kong tries to escape, he sees a woman with white hair. Kong senses from a distance that this woman is genuinely strong as that red-haired girl, and damn, I must say, she is mommy material. Kong wonders how to get out of this situation. At the same time, the white-haired woman comes right in front of Kong. Her name is Hila. She is also one of the top 5 S-rank players in Korea. She asks Kang to show his identity card. Kang gets a little nervous and gives his identity card to Hela. He thinks in his mind that he have to act like he know nothing. Hela carefully looks at Kang's identity card. Kong thinks that this inspection is definitely done to catch the demonic group, but from the looks of it, they don't seem to have come for Kong. To confirm this, Kong decides to ask a question. Hela is still checking Kong's identity card. At the same time, Kong casually asks Hela why she herself is here checking everyone's identity card. She could have sent a normal officer to do it. Hela says that since she is the commander, she can't just leave all the work to her subordinates. Hearing this, Kang laughs and says that Hela is very cool. Kang thinks in his mind that Hela is really a macho woman. Hela finally verifies Kang's identity card and hands it back, saying everything is fine. After that, Kong tells Hela that a lot of players are being killed in the dungeon, which is a bad thing. Hela replies that this is exactly why they're doing the inspection. With that, Kang gets his answer. Hela tells Kang that money is really a scary thing and that people do crazy things for it, but Kang already knows the truth. The people killing players are not doing it for money, they're gathering demonic energy. Hela is about to say farewell and leave when Kang stops her, asking if she can tell him the names of all the players who have disappeared. He says that if he finds any information about them, he will inform her. Hearing this, Hela smiles and gives all the information to Kang. Hela tells Kang to go home safely, saying that he looks like a very kind-hearted and good person. If all the people on Earth were like Kong, it would have been great. Kang thinks in his mind that if everyone on Earth were like him, the Earth would have been destroyed long ago. With that, Hela leaves, and Kang calls Taiso on the phone, saying that they need to meet at a coffee shop today. The scene shifts, and we see Taiso finally arriving at the coffee shop. Kang is standing there with Juhi. Taiso shakes hands with Juhi, saying that Kang have told him about her and that she is a healer. Juhi feels a little nervous, shaking hands with Taiso, because her hand looks like an insect compared to Taiso's. But then, Taiso, blushing a little, says to Kang and Juhi that they look very good together. Hearing this, Kang blushes a little, but Juhi doesn't seem to care at all. They sit at their table. Kang asks Taiso if he have any problem ranking up with Juhi. Taiso says he have no problem at all. Juhi says that it is hard to find a good healer these days, so it would be a great opportunity for Taiso. Juhi slowly starts explaining her ability. She says her special ability is called the Blessing of Light. Using this, she can heal anyone, and at the same time, she can buff that person. Hearing this, Taiso is a little surprised because healing and buffing at the same time is a big deal. Taiso tells Kang that there are very few healers in the world, and among them those who can heal and buff at the same time are even rarer. Kang, jokingly, calls Juhi his sister-in-law and says that Juhi is really awesome. Hearing this, Kang gets even shyer, but Juhi doesn't react at all. She just laughs. Kang notices that Juhi didn't get offended. He thinks that maybe something could happen between them in the future. Taiso, feeling hyped, puts all his coffee in his mouth and declares that they will make history today. They will be the strongest team. He mentions that he have 2 more people who can join their party. They aren't in any guild, but their character is very good because Taiso always brings good characters. Kang jokes, saying that Taiso is a good judge of character. After some laughs, Taiso says he rarely makes mistakes. Kang reassures him that he was just kidding. Juhi says she doesn't mind and that Kang will do whatever she says. Juhi has full faith that Kang can never be wrong. Kang and Juhi start chatting again while Taiso laughs, blushing like a shy kid. Kang tells Taiso that they will head to the dungeon and level up together tomorrow. Taiso, feeling the energy, asks, why not today? Kang tells him that he need to level up today because he is just 1 step away from his 4th awakening. With that, the scene shifts, and we see Kang entering the dungeon. Kang uses his omnipotent power to locate all the trolls from a distance. With his demonic blade, he slashes through all the trolls. Suddenly, Kang feels something strange, the scent of human blood. Kang thinks that the demonic cult people are killing humans again. He dashes towards the scent. After a while, Kang finds several dead bodies. He checks them and realizes that none of the bodies were killed by humans. It looks like they were killed by a beast. Suddenly, Kang hears a growl from behind. He turns around and his eyes go wide open. He sees a demonic beast chewing on a hunter, raw. The beast is huge, with a long tail. It screams at Kang. Kang is shocked to see the beast and screams, wondering what the hell is a beast from hell doing on Earth. Hellhound is the lowest level creature of hell, but Kang's powers are still sealed at less than 10%. Even though Hellhound is the weakest demon in the Hell realm, he's still dangerously strong. Without hesitation, Hellhound leaps at Kang, aiming to devour him alive. Kang dodges. Hellhound's attack effortlessly and slashes at him with his demonic blade, but it's useless. Hellhound's skin is so thick that it doesn't even get a scratch. In retaliation, Hellhound spins around, opens his enormous jaws, and unleashes a massive hellfire blast at Kang. The force of the hellfire is so intense that it causes a huge explosion, but Kang swiftly leaps into the air, dodging the attack. He then summons his demonic spear and hurls it at Hellhound with all his strength. The spear hits Hellhound and he falls to the ground. Kang thinks, maybe I've finally killed him. To Kang's surprise, Hellhound gets up. He's not dead. Kang prepares to finish him off, but before he can strike, Hellhound kicks him with his powerful legs and runs away. Kang falls back, narrowly avoiding a bite attack from Hellhound. Hellhound charges at him again, jaws wide open, ready to tear him apart. This time, Kang quickly summons his demonic spear once more and thrusts it into Hellhound's mouth. Using all his strength, Kang pushes the spear deeper into Hellhound's skull, but Hellhound merely stumbles a few steps back, bleeding only slightly. The spear barely pierces Hellhound's thick skull, just an inch deep. Hellhound looks ready for round 2, snarling fiercely. He opens his jaws wide and summons another gigantic hellfire blast, throwing it directly at Kang. Kang pauses, smirking with a cocky grin, and says, "This Hellhound is nothing but a lowly insect that doesn't know his place." With that, Kang focuses all his demonic energy into his hands and activates a low-level demon skill, the power of 1,000 demons. Kang's entire body surges with the power of 1,000 demons, making his aura fierce and menacing. He teleports directly in front of Hellhound and delivers a devastating punch with all his might. Hellhound flies high into the sky and crashes back down onto the ground with a thunderous impact. But Hellhound is still alive. Kang's demonic energy is now completely drained. He realizes, if Hellhound doesn't die now, I'm in serious trouble. Kang braces himself for another attack, but suddenly, Hellhound collapses to the ground. The system notifies Kang, "You have successfully defeated a C-rank crack fragment." Kang feels confused, but then he notices the term crack fragment. He's surprised. The system further informs him that he's gained a huge amount of experience points, leveling up 5 times in one go. With this boost, Kang has reached level 30, unlocking his 4th awakening. A notification flashes. You have unlocked a special ability, Ruler of Demonic Energy, an A-rank ability. Kang smiles, reading the new skill's description. With the Ruler of Demonic Energy ability, he can now use demonic energy much faster and more efficiently. Not only that, but he can also completely conceal his demonic energy from others. Kang feels excitement surge through him, realizing he's become even more powerful. Kang focuses all his attention on the crack. As he listens, Kang recalls how the demonic group once tried to open this crack and absorb demonic energy from it. He thinks about his old friends in Hell, wondering if they have managed to open the gate and send a Hellhound back to Earth. Kang shakes his head thinking, this can't be possible. But he pushes aside the thought and checks his 4th awakening ability. With a confident smile, he looks at the Hellhound and declares that now, with his 4th awakening, he can access twice as much demonic energy as before. Kang grins, saying that from now on, I won't have any trouble killing monsters like this Hellhound. He activates his power of gluttony and absorbs the Hellhound, wearing a psychopathic demonic smile. As he absorbs it, he feels the seal on his body weakening, and his hunger to unseal his power grows stronger. Kang can barely wait to remove the seal completely and reach his full potential. The scene shifts, and Kang emerges from the dungeon, feeling good and satisfied after leveling up. He decides to head home, meet Yuhi, and enjoy his favorite dish, kimchi. But suddenly, a voice from the side catches him off guard. Kang turns left and sees the same red-haired woman, now wearing a baseball cap. With a serious face, she greets him, saying, "Long time no see!" Kang, clearly annoyed, replies, They are not close enough to be exchanging greetings. They haven't even introduced themselves. The girl then introduces herself as Cha-Yun. Hearing her name, Kang's memory clicks. He remembers that Cha-Yun is a member of Korea's top 5 guilds: Mira Guild, Onurul Guild, Hanyul Guild, Sonyer Guild, and finally, the Red Rose Guild, which Cha-Yun belongs to. Kang now understands why he had so much trouble fighting her back in the PC cafe. Cha-Yun then calmly says his name, stating that she knows everything about him. Kang, born in 1995, currently 28 years old, an orphan with no home, missing for 5 years, and recently became a player. Hearing this, Kang gets furious and demands, "Have you been investigating me?" Cha-Yun smirks and says it was easy to gather all this data from the Player Association. She admits that at first, she suspected Kang was a leader of a demonic religion, but after a deep investigation, she found out that Kang has no connection to the demonic religion. This realization led her to believe that Kang must be a player with immense talent, someone who might even surpass her in the future. Kang, still skeptical, thanks her but then asks, "What do you want from me?" Cha-Yun pauses and, with a serious expression, says she wants to sponsor Kang. Hearing this, Kang laughs and says, Kang thought she would try to recruit him into her guild. Cha-Yun responds, "She know that no matter how much she try, a hunter like Kang will rarely join a guild. So instead, she want to sponsor Kang." Cha-Yun explains her offer. She will provide financial support, necessary equipment, and access to all the dungeons Kang wants. Hearing this, Kang becomes a little suspicious, wondering, why would she give him all this for free? Cha-Yun quickly clarifies, "This is not free at all. It's an investment for her. She know Kang will become a big hunter in the future. She want to help Kang, but in return, whenever Kang get a commission from her guild, Kang have to fulfill it." Kang hesitates for a moment and asks, can he know the details of these commissions? Cha-Yun replies, she can't reveal that just yet. Kang thinks it over and with a smiling face accepts Cha-Yun's offer. Well, she just made a deal with the devil. After that, Kang asks Cha-Yun again if now that he have accepted his offer, can he tell him about the commission request? Cha-Yun smiles and tells Kang that he will reveal it when the time is right. He adds that even if he told Kang now, it wouldn't matter since at Kang's current level, he won't be able to handle it. Hearing this, Kang's ego gets hurt, and he tells Cha-Yun that he is way more powerful than he looks. Cha-Yun chuckles, thinking of Kang as an arrogant bastard in his mind. He tells Kang that his weakness is not the reason for withholding the commission details. Kang, still annoyed, asks Cha-Yun why he won't share the details of the commission. Cha-Yun explains that it's a secret mission and that he need trusted allies for it. Right now, they don't have solid evidence, so they can't take action yet. He assures Kang that when the time is right, he will be informed. Kang thinks to himself that Cha-Yun is definitely investigating the demonic group. But before Kang can dwell on it, Cha-Yun hands him his phone and asks Kang to put his number in it. Kang types in his number and then asks Cha-Yun if, after joining the guild, he will get his own equipment. Cha-Yun nods and tells Kang to follow him. The scene shifts, and we see a commotion on the road. Kids are excited, pointing at something. We then see a sleek Mercedes 69 edition cruising down the street. One kid tells his father that he wants a car like that. The father reassures his son, saying that daddy will work hard and buy it someday. The car belongs to Cha-Yun. She gets inside and invites Kang in. Kang is surprised, staring at the luxurious interior. He asks Cha-Yun how much she paid for this car. Cha-Yun casually mentions that she just bought it but doesn't even remember the price. Kang's eyes sparkle, but when Cha-Yun says the car cost 10 million won, Kang is shocked. He thinks, how could a girl in a baseball cap and tracksuit own such an expensive car? Cha-Yun starts the engine and notices Kang's reaction. She laughs, telling Kang not to be so surprised. If he wants, she can easily get him a car like this. Hearing this, Kang suddenly calls Cha-Yun Nuna. Cha-Yun gets visibly pissed off, feeling cringed out. Kang, with sparkling eyes, keeps calling her Nuna and asks if he can continue calling her that. Cha-Yun, annoyed, threatens that if he calls her Nuna again, she might vomit from the cringe. She's so irritated, she's this close to ripping out Kang's ribcage. A small playful fight breaks out between them. The scene shifts, and Kang arrives at a humongous building. He steps out of the car, shocked at the sight. The building belongs to the Red Rose Guild and is made entirely of red metal. Kang thinks that this place is even bigger than the Player Association building. He realizes that Korea's top 5 guilds are genuinely wealthy. Kang follows Chow Yun inside. A polite and kind man with yellow hair and glasses welcomes Kang. His name is Hyu-on. Kang shakes hands with him. Just then, a mountain-like person steps forward. Hyu-on introduces him as the chief commander, Blackbeard. Kang looks at Blackbeard, puzzled as to why he is glaring at him with such an angry face. He hasn't even done anything yet. Hyu-on thanks Kang for coming. Chow Yun tells Kang that he is awesome. Kang humbly accepts the compliment, and Chow Yun begins showing him around the building. Blackbeard suddenly asks to tag along. Chow Yun looks at him confused and asks why he wants to join them. Blackbeard, with a competitive stare, says he wants to see what kind of person Kang really is. Chow Yun leads Kang to the equipment room. As soon as Kang enters, his eyes go wide open. There are rows upon rows of weapons, armor, and suits. Chow Yun tells Kang that he can choose any equipment below unique rank. Kang, with sparkling eyes, looks around and asks if there are any legendary or mythic rank items. Chow Yun laughs and says they have them, but Kang won't be able to use them. Kang gets curious and asks how much he would need to pay for a unique or legendary rank item. Chow Yun tells him it would cost 50 million won for a unique rank item. Kang pauses and looks at Chow Yun with a depressed face. Chow Yun teases him, saying he probably won't be able to afford a legendary rank item in his lifetime. Kang, determined, says that if he can't get a legendary rank weapon, he will settle for an epic rank weapon. Suddenly, Blackbeard starts stomping his feet. Blackbeard was furious. He was so pissed off that it looked like his eyes were about to pop out. Seeing this, Kang was a bit confused. He wondered, why is this guy so angry? Blackbeard repeated himself, shouting at Kang, demanding that he speak politely to the guildmaster and use honorifics while addressing her. Kang finally realized Blackbeard was a lolicon and completely obsessed with the guildmaster. Kang's lips curled into a mischievous, devilish smile. He leaned in close and said, "I don't want to. What will you do about it, huh?" After hearing this, Blackbeard gets even more angry and takes out his huge sword, ready to kill Kang. But Chow Yun steps in and stops Blackbeard, demanding why he is showing his sword in front of Kang. Chow Yun is pissed off and snaps at Blackbeard, asking why he is standing there like a fool. Blackbeard, flustered, tries to convince his guildmaster that Kang misbehaved with him, but Chow Yun cuts him off, saying she will decide who gets to talk here. Blackbeard doesn't need to worry about it. Chow Yun tells Blackbeard to leave immediately and warns Kang not to mess with him. If Blackbeard gets serious, he might disable Kang. Kang laughs it off, thinking that Blackbeard is hot-headed but at least loyal. As soon as Blackbeard leaves, Kang cheekily calls Chow Yun Nuna again. Chow Yun gets irritated and starts scolding Kang. But Blackbeard, hearing the word Nuna, stops in his tracks and grabs his sword again. On the other hand, Kang just smiles and calls Chow Yun Nuna once more. Chow Yun's face twists in annoyance. She threatens Kang, saying if he calls her Nuna one more time, she will vomit from cringe. Meanwhile, Blackbeard is fuming. He glares at Kang and says, "Did you just call Chow Yun Nuna? How dare you?" Without hesitation, Blackbeard swings his huge sword at Kang with full force. There's a loud blast, and smoke spreads everywhere. As the smoke clears, we see Chow Yun standing there with dead serious eyes, holding back the full swing of Blackbeard's sword with just one hand. She is furious in a deep, menacing voice. She asks Blackbeard, "Did you really just attack Kang after I told you to leave? Or have you grown so bold that you don't even listen to your guildmaster anymore?" Kang watches this with amusement, while Blackbeard, now feeling guilty, tries to defend himself, mumbling that Kang was disrespecting Chow Yun. But Chow Yun ignores him and slams Blackbeard's sword into the ground, her anger radiating off her like an aura. She threatens Blackbeard, saying if he doesn't leave right now, she will give him a harsh punishment. Blackbeard, as the commander-in-chief of the Red Rose Guild, should know how to behave. Chow Yun apologizes to Kang, explaining that her guild members are usually kind-hearted, but a little too protective of her. If anyone disrespects Chow Yun, they get angry. She then asks Kang what kind of unique rank equipment he wants. She says she will try to convince the others in the meeting room to give it to him. Kang tells Chow Yun that he needs armor that can absorb a huge impact. Chow Yun pauses, thinking if they even have such a unique rank armor. Just then, they hear another voice from behind. It's Blackbeard, standing there again with dead, serious eyes. He points to the unique rank armor he is wearing and says, "This is also a unique rank equipment. It has the exact specifications Kang needs. If Kang defeats me in a duel, I will happily give it to him." Hearing this, Chow Yun's face darkens. She clenches her fists in anger. and shouts at Blackbeard. Even Blackbeard, known for his bravery, looks scared of Cha-Yun's furious expression. Cha-Yun activates her aura, walking towards Blackbeard with heavy footsteps that crack the ground beneath her. Blackbeard feels intimidated, but before Cha-Yun can say anything, Kong cuts in. He tells Cha-Yun that this is a good proposal, and he agrees to the duel. Cha-Yun looks worried, thinking that Kong is definitely strong, perhaps even stronger than her in the future. But Blackbeard is not weak either. He is a level 67 hunter who has completed the Sixth Awakening, something only a few people have achieved. Blackbeard has immense potential, just like Kang. Kang has only been a hunter for 3 weeks and is barely level 30. Cha-Yun, clearly nervous, tells Kang that he should reconsider the duel. But Kang, with a smirking, evil smile, says, "Blackbeard himself has placed such a beautiful gift in front of me. How can I leave it behind?" Blackbeard, hearing this, gets excited, thinking to himself that today he will teach this arrogant brat who is senior and who is junior. Cha-Yun keeps trying to convince Kang that this duel is a bad idea, but Kang refuses to back down. The scene flashes back to Blackbeard's past. 5 years ago, when the dungeon first opened, Blackbeard was on the brink of death. His entire family was almost dead. At that moment, Cha-Yun saved his life. Since then, Blackbeard has treated Cha-Yun like a goddess. But now, seeing Kang disrespect his goddess, he feels a burning urge to teach Kang a lesson. Cha-Yun, once more, pleads with Kang, saying he might even die if he goes through with this. But Kang just laughs and says, "How can I leave free unique equipment?" The scene shifts and we arrive at the training ground. Kang looks around in amazement, saying, "This training ground is awesome." Meanwhile, Blackbeard taunts Kang, saying he will see how long Kang can survive here. Cha-Yun, still trying to convince Kang, calls the duel insane and senseless. But Kang, while stretching, tells her to just enjoy the fight. Blackbeard, with a confident smirk, tells Kang, "Since you're my junior, I will give you the first 3 attacks for free. I won't move from this spot. Do whatever you want." Kang, with a serious and annoyed expression, says, "You better pick up your sword and fight with full power." Blackbeard laughs, saying that if he goes all out, Kang won't last 2 seconds. He just wants to give his junior a chance. Cha-Yun looks nervous, but Kang, with a sinister grin, says, "This show of coolness will be a big mistake for you, Blackbeard." In an instant, Kang activates his speed power and vanishes. Even Cha-Yun can't trace his movements for a second. Suddenly, Kang appears right in front of Blackbeard and kicks him with full force. Blackbeard goes flying, crashing into the fortified wall of the training ground, denting it. Blackbeard's eyes bulge, and all the spit flies out of his mouth. He falls to the ground, unconscious for a moment. Blackbeard clutches his stomach, coughing violently. He thinks, "If I didn't have this unique rank armor, I would be dead right now." He can't comprehend how a player who has only been in the game for 3 weeks and is below level 30 can be this strong. Meanwhile, Kang looks down at Blackbeard with his evil, psychopathic smile and his demonic red eyes. He thinks to himself, Blackbeard was going to give me 3 free attacks. Did he think I wouldn't take full advantage? Blackbeard is barely standing, clutching his huge sword. He asks Kang what trick he used to deliver such a heavy attack. Hearing this, Kang starts laughing. He says, "What trick is Blackbeard talking about? Kang is simply stronger than him." Hearing this, Blackbeard gets even more angry and tells Kang to stop his bullshit. He asks Kang, how can a 3-week-old player have this much strength? Kang must have done some trick or cheating. Hearing this, Kang starts laughing even harder. Kang laughs with his psychopathic, demonic smile. Blackbeard thinks Kang is just a noob, but now that things didn't go according to Blackbeard's plan, he is calling Kang a liar and cheater. What a funny son of a bitch! After that, Kang gets serious and says that enough is enough. He will now fight in serious mode. Hearing this, Blackbeard becomes even more pissed off. He looks to his right and notices that Cha-Yun is watching the match. He couldn't have been more insulted in front of Cha-Yun. Blackbeard grabs his sword again and shouts loudly, gathering all the aura of his body into his sword. A massive aura forms around his blade. Blackbeard shouts, "Blade of Universal Slaughterer!" Hearing this, Kang starts laughing again. With a polite yet psychopathic smile, he asks Blackbeard if he really named his attack something so cringy. Kang mocks, saying, "Blade of Universal Slaughterer? What a joke! That's a shitty name. Does Blackbeard think giving a name to the attack will make him cool and strong?" Hearing this mockery, Blackbeard goes crazy. He becomes like a brainless monster. He jumps, aiming to cut Kang into 2 pieces. At this moment, Kong becomes genuinely serious. He knows Blackbeard didn't become the commander-in-chief without reason. Blackbeard is genuinely strong. But there's no need to fight this meathead head-on. Kang's attacks might be powerful due to his demonic energy, but his body isn't strong enough yet to take Blackbeard's hit directly. That's why Kang taunted Blackbeard to make him lose control. Kang uses his demonic shadow, and a strange red shadow appears on Blackbeard's body, slowly connecting to his legs. Blackbeard is almost about to cut Kang. Even Chayun gets a little scared, thinking that Blackbeard will slice Kang in two. But just before the impact, Kang smirks and disappears into Blackbeard's shadow. Chayun rushes forward, trying to save Kang, but Kang isn't there. He reappears right behind Blackbeard through the shadow. Before Blackbeard can react, Kang grabs him from behind and unleashes a demonic shockwave. Blackbeard is blasted into the air, crashing hard against the wall. His huge sword falls far away. The shockwave is so strong that Blackbeard falls unconscious, slumping to the ground. Chayun is left in shock, just staring at Kang. And Kang, with his arrogant demonic smile, tells Chayun that he is stronger than he looks. The scene shifts, and we see the first aid team rushing in to heal Blackbeard. Despite wearing heavy armor, Blackbeard's entire body is covered in bruises. His bones are broken. Meanwhile, Kang is very happy, taking Blackbeard's armor for himself. Chayun apologizes to Kang on behalf of Blackbeard, but Kang doesn't care. He is just glad he got his hands on his favorite armor. Kang checks the status window of the armor. He discovers that its physical defense is 200, and its magical defense is 80. The armor has a special effect. For 10 seconds, the user's physical defense can be doubled with the effect of calcification, but it has a 24-hour cooldown. Kang is extremely happy with this new armor. On the other hand, we see Blackbeard lying on a stretcher, tears rolling down his face. After that, Kang turns to Chayun and says that this time he will let the incident slide, but if something like this happens again, he will cancel the contract between them. Chayun promises that nothing like this will happen in her guild again. Kang leaves the armor with Chayun so they can fit it properly for him. As soon as Kang leaves, Chayun sits down, a little upset. She thinks to herself, is Kang really human? Chayun knows that Blackbeard isn't just some random E-rank monster. Blackbeard is genuinely strong. So how did Kang defeat him? Chayun begins to wonder if they might actually be witnessing the rise of a world ranker. She explains that a world ranker is one of the strongest hunters globally. Currently, there are only 8 such players in the entire world. Even Korea's #1 SSS rank hunter couldn't become a world ranker, but Kang's potential makes her think he might. The guild manager arrives and asks Chayun if everything went okay. Chayun explains the whole incident to the manager, telling him that all the guild members will be called tomorrow to decide Blackbeard's punishment. Then, the manager brings up a more serious topic. He informs Chayun that they have placed a spy within a demonic organization, and if things go well, they might uncover a lot of critical information. Hearing this, Chayun becomes very happy, yet pissed off and irritated at the same time. She takes off her cap and tells the manager to gather as much information as possible. After that, Kang comes out and checks his system window. Here, Kang sees that he is at level 34. Kang's inherited class is still a question mark. His strength is 23, stamina is 20, intelligence is 11, demonic energy is 53, wisdom is 13, and magic is 0. After checking his status window for a while, Kang explains, according to the human world's Giga Player system, Kang is only level 34 and can't defeat people above that. But if he mixes his demonic energy into his body, Kang is stronger than any level 100 player. And once Kang unseals all his powers, he will be stronger than any level 1000 player. Kang thinks, even though he is level 34, he is actually stronger than any level 100 player. Kang comes up with a clever loophole. He thinks that if he uses his player stat abilities to strengthen his body, he can reduce his demonic energy consumption. However, Kang notices only one problem. When he levels up, his demonic energy doesn't increase like his other stats. He remembers that as hunters level up, their inherited skills also grow. But Kang's inherited skill is still a question mark. So maybe the Giga system is treating Kang's stats and his demonic energy as separate entities. Meaning, if Kang keeps leveling up, he might awaken a different power apart from his demonic energy. Kang will only get answers to these questions when he levels up more. Thinking this, Kang says it's time to meet Taiso. The scene shifts, and we see that a new day has passed. Taiso is very happy and excited, calling out loudly for Kang. Seeing Taiso shouting so loudly, Kang feels a bit embarrassed and asks Taiso why he's making such a big scene. Kang and Jinwoo arrive and greet each other. Kang notices that Taiso isn't alone. 2 more people are with him. Before Taiso introduces them, Kang notices a handsome boy. He was genuinely handsome and gorgeous. Taiso calls the small-looking kid Brad and jokes that even though he looks like a kid, he's an adult. Hearing this, the kid calls Taiso a 40-year-old uncle, putting Taiso into an instant depression. After the jokes end, everyone introduces themselves. The small kid approaches Juhi, and seeing his excitement, Kang thinks, "Is this Taiso number 2? Then, the handsome man politely steps forward to shake hands with Kang. He introduces himself as Kim. He is level 12 and recently unlocked his second awakening, which is an A rank, and he belongs to the warrior class. Meanwhile, the small kid is taking a picture with Juhi. Kang thinks in his mind, one guy is very polite, and the other kid is super excited. They both seem pretty decent, but all of Kang's attention is on Kim. Beside him, Taiso is still crying, thinking about being called a 40-year-old man. Looking at everyone, Kang smiles with relief, thinking that none of them are giving off any demonic energy or bad vibes. They all seem like good people. Seeing this, Taiso proudly tells Kang, "As you can see, everyone here has a good nature." Taiso boasts that he has a great talent for finding good people, but Kang taunts him, saying that because of his great talent, Taiso almost died a few days ago. Taiso blushes and praises Kang, saying maybe the heavens made him meet Kang on purpose. Hearing such a cringy remark, both Taiso and Kang pause for a moment. Then Taiso asks Kang what he thinks about his teammates. Kang thinks in his mind, this team is perfect. They have a strong tanker who can handle both long-range and short-range attacks, a healer, a long-range mage, and a solid damage dealer. Taiso can be a great tanker, while Kim can be the main damage dealer. Juhi can heal, buff, and provide long-range support. This isn't just a random party, it's a hard carry party. Seeing this, Kang gets excited and admits he didn't expect to go into the dungeon with them, but now he's looking forward to seeing their hunting skills. Hearing this, Taiso gets super happy and starts screaming again, making Kang feel embarrassed. Kang then starts moving forward, and everyone follows him. Kang wasn't planning on leveling them up too quickly by carrying them, as that could hinder their growth. He just wanted to observe their hunting and guide them, helping them gain real experience. The scene shifts again, and we see a lot of trolls in the dungeon charging towards someone. Taiso blocks them all with his huge shield. As soon as he blocks, all the trolls fall down. From behind, Yunbei unleashes a lightning attack, killing all the fallen trolls. But as soon as Yunbei takes down the trolls, 4 or 5 more appear from behind. Taiso quickly uses his shield to protect Yunbei, while Juhi heals and buffs Taiso. As Juhi buffs Taiso, she launches a long-range attack, striking a troll. Taiso pushes everyone back with his shield. Meanwhile, Kim, in a single slash, takes down all the trolls. In just a matter of seconds, all the trolls are on the ground, dead, without a single scratch on the team. Kang watches this and asks Taiso how their hunting went. Kang doesn't say much, but simply comments that their hunting was good, though they made quite a few mistakes. He then declares with a smirk that he will now fix those mistakes. Kang first comes up to Taiso and says, Taiso is wasting too much of his strength. Taiso was tossing the troll around right from the beginning. Kang points out that if Taiso keeps using up so much energy from the start, then he won't have enough left to fight the boss monster. Kang reminds Taiso that as a tanker, his job is to endure the attacks, not to charge in and attack recklessly. After that, Kang moves to Juhi. He smiles proudly and tells Juhi that she healed Taiso very well and also gave him a buff. But while buffing, Juhi mistakenly attacked a troll, which she shouldn't have done. Kang explains that the healer in a party is the most important role, and everyone targets the healer first. Even though Taiso was protecting Juhi, if Juhi starts attacking recklessly, the aggro could turn towards her, making it impossible for Taiso to save her. Juhi looks a bit sad after hearing this. Then, Kang finally comes to Yunbei. Kang tells Yunbei that his mistake was not having any backup magic spell. Because of that, So many trolls followed him, and later Taiso had to save him. Kang explains that Yunbei's role is to stay far away and make heavy attacks, not to engage up front. Yunbei needs to paralyze the low-level monsters with light attacks and leave the finishing moves to Kim, the main damage dealer. Finally, Kang turns to Kim. Kim anticipates a lot, expecting a tip from Kang, but Kang pauses, his face a bit annoyed, and puts a hand on Kim's shoulder. He says he has no tip for Kim because from start to finish, Kim executed everything perfectly. Kang thinks to himself that although he has 10,000 years of experience, Kim is a real genius. Kim has natural battle sense. When the other party members see that Kang didn't have any feedback for Kim, they start praising Kim. Kang tells everyone that the conversation can continue later. For now, he asks them to follow the tips he gave and keep hunting. They get back to the hunt, and just as Kang instructed, Taiso defends the monsters from a distance, Juhi heals and buffs Taiso and Kim, while Yunbei paralyzes the enemies with his lightning attacks. Meanwhile, with one clean slash like cutting butter, Kim wipes out all the trolls with his long sword. It's a perfect strategy. In just a matter of seconds, the entire group of trolls is wiped out. Taiso eagerly asks Kang if they did the hunt correctly this time. Kang smiles and praises them, saying they executed a perfect hunt. He says there's nothing left for him to teach them. But suddenly, Kang senses something strange. He looks to his right, and his eyes go wide open. A weird, red-eyed lion monster comes charging in. Kang immediately recognizes it. It's a demonic wolf from hell. It's stronger than a hellhound. Even though it's a low-level demon, it's still more powerful than a hellhound. The demonic wolf charges towards them, and Taiso steps forward to block it. Kang quickly pulls out his demonic blade, thinking, what is another demonic monster doing here? But before Kang can intervene, Kim jumps in between Taiso and the demonic wolf, trying to slash it. The demonic wolf takes heavy damage but doesn't stop. Kim tells Taiso to step back, saying that he'll handle the demonic wolf alone. Due to Kim's powerful attack, the demonic wolf is momentarily startled and stands still. Seizing this opportunity, Kim unlocks his ultimate ability. His sword starts glowing, and he slashes the demonic wolf, causing it to bleed heavily. Kim thinks he has defeated the demonic wolf, but as soon as he looks back, he realizes that the demonic wolf is still standing. The wolf throws a powerful claw attack, sending Kim flying far away. The demonic wolf doesn't stop. It charges towards Kim, ready to bite him. Kang instantly activates his power of 1,000 demons and slashes the demonic wolf in one clean punch. The wolf collapses to the ground, dead. Kim looks back, his eyes wide open, as if he was trying to protect Kang. As soon as Kang defeats the demonic wolf, the system notifies him that he has defeated a D-rank crack fragment and that his level has increased by 1. Kang picks up Kim and asks if he's okay. Kim nods, saying he's fine. Taiso, Juhi, and Yunbei come running over and ask Kim if he's okay. Kim reassures them that he's fine, only a light injury. Juhi heals Kim, and Taiso tells him that he was incredible, amazing at the last moment. Taiso also mentions that Kim's blade was shining. Kang thinks the same. He never expected a low-level human, just level 12, to fight a demonic monster on almost equal footing. Even if Kim is a player who got an A-rank special awakening for his second ability, Kim is abnormally powerful. Kang starts getting a little suspicious of Kim. Kang pretends to help Kim, lifting him onto his shoulder and says he'll assist him. But in reality, Kang uses his omnipotent eyes to check Kim's status window. Kang wants to see what skills Kim... As soon as Kang uses his omnipotent eyes, he is surprised to find that he can see Kim's entire status window. Kang didn't expect to see it so clearly with his ability. He is very happy to see this, but as he starts reading Kim's status window, Kang gets shocked. He notices that Kim's first awakening was from an SSS rank. Kim is an SSS rank hunter from level 10. Kim's inherited ability is martial art gods, and he is a hero destined to become the Protector. Kang observes Kim, again observing his handsome face, and realizes that Kim is genuinely the main character of this story. Kang pieces together all the clues and realizes that Kim is genuinely a main character-type player. Kim is an existence that could potentially threaten Kang in the long term, but there's no way Kang is going to lose such a precious, unrefined gem. Kang decides that just like Chayun sponsored him, he will also sponsor Kim. But there's no guarantee that Kim will remain the same in the future. If Kim ever finds out that Kang is a demon lord, he might turn against Kang at any moment, And as Kang noticed, Kim is a very righteous, kind, and just person. He jumped right in front of the demonic wolf to save Taiso, without any regard for his own life. So there's no guarantee that Kim won't fight against Kang once he learns the truth. But suddenly Kang gets a devilish and evil plan. He gives an evil smile and says he will enjoy devouring Kim. Juhi and the rest of the party come over to Kang, thanking him. They say that if it wasn't for Kang today, they might have all died. Taiso also praises Kang, saying he was amazing, defeating such a furious and dangerous demon in a single punch. Kang approaches Kim and asks if his injury is okay. Kim nods, saying Juhi healed him and he'll be fine after some rest. Kang acts concerned and says he's glad to hear that. To Kim, Kang already seemed like a hero. With sparkling eyes, Kim tells Kang that from today, Kang is his hero. Kang is everything to him. Taiso had told Kim that Kang is a righteous and just person, and today, Kim saw it with his own eyes. We see both Taiso and Kim looking at Kang with admiration, their eyes sparkling, saying they've never seen anyone with such a sense of justice. The laughter and fun continue. After a while, they continue their hunt. Later that night, everyone heads back home. Juhi and Kang walk together. Kang suddenly gets a call and tells Juhi that he has some urgent work to handle, but he'll be back soon. Juhi agrees and says she'll prepare kimchi for him. They say their goodbyes, and Juhi heads home. As soon as Juhi leaves, Kang gives a psychopathic, mischievous smile and mutters that it's time to start his plan. The scene shifts, and we see Kim standing at a bus stop, looking a bit sad while checking his phone. He seems to be thinking about the Mira Guild. Just then, Kang appears in front of him and greets him with a hello. Kang tells Kim that he needs to have an important discussion with him. He asks Kim to come along with him for a bit. Kim, who trusts Kang completely at this point, follows him without any hesitation. A little time passes, and we see Kang has brought Kim to a dark, deserted alley. Kim politely asks why Kang brought him here. But before Kim can finish his sentence, Kang punches him hard in the stomach, causing Kim to spit out blood. Kim falls to the ground and, in shock, asks Kang what he's doing and why he's hitting him. Before Kim can say anything else, Kang knees him in the stomach. With a demonic, evil smile, Kang looks into Kim's face and says that Kim is going to become very strong. Stronger than most hunters, even as strong as Kang himself. And Kang wants to build a friendly relationship with Kim. Kim, confused and in pain, asks why Kang would hit him if he wants to be friends. But before Kim can finish speaking, Kang punches him again in the stomach. Kim writhes in pain and becomes furious. Kang tells him that this is for his own safety. Kang grabs Kim's heart and puts a seal on it. This seal will ensure that if Kim ever tries to attack Kang in the future, he won't be able to. It's a kind of insurance for Kang. Kim is in immense pain, but Kang reassures him that the pain will only last a few seconds. After that, Kim will forget everything that happened. Kang pulls his hand out from Kim's chest, and a demonic symbol forms on Kim's skin. Seeing this, Kang's face lights up with joy. With a mysterious, psychopathic smile, he bids Kim farewell. Kim suddenly opens his eyes, confused. He has no memory of what happened in the alley. He tries to recall, remembering that he was at the bus stop but can't figure out what happened next. He racks his brain but comes up blank. Frustrated, he recalls the earlier incident with the demonic wolf. Kim couldn't defeat the wolf, and it starts to weigh heavily on him. Kim curses himself, saying that he's still too weak. He swears that he must become stronger, much stronger than he is now. Only then will he be able to get his revenge. He clenches his fists and grits his teeth. Kim slams his fist against the wall, breaking it in a single hit. For a moment, I genuinely forgot who the actual main character was. Kang is watching Kim from above, and while watching, the system notifies Kang that his seal is on Kim. Seeing this, Kang becomes very happy. Kang gives his evil, psychopathic smile and says that he knows Kim won't do anything to him in the future, but this is just Kang's way of getting insurance. He doesn't trust humans at all. A human's mood can change anytime. Kang knows that Kim's power could be even stronger than Balak's, or maybe equal to him. Here, Kang is alone, and there are already many powerful beings on Earth. So until Kang becomes more powerful, he needs strong allies. He also has to battle the mysterious demonic group, and there's no telling when a demon might appear at the gate again. Kang, with a greedy, evil smile, says that he will support Kim, nourish Kim, and make Kim strong, so that Kim can become his strongest right-hand man. Suddenly, Kang gets a call. It's from the Andras Guildmaster. He sounds terrified as he tells Kang that there's news of a strange demon coming from the crack of hell, spotted in a B-rank gate. Hearing this, Kang becomes alert. He thinks that if a C-rank gate had a demon wolf stronger than a hellhound, then a demon from a B-rank gate must be very strong. If Kang kills this demon, he could level up a lot. Thinking this, Kang licks his lips, imagining how fast he could level up by killing a being from hell. He's very close to his next awakening. The scene shifts, and we see Kang standing in front of the B-rank dungeon gate. The security is heavy, guards everywhere, and many hunters are there, complaining about not being able to enter. They are all C-rank and B-rank hunters, even grouped in teams of 10. The guards inform them that a very dangerous, mutated monster has appeared. There's no data on it. News reporters also arrive, causing a commotion. Kang wonders what kind of demonic beast it could be. A reporter asks the guards what type of monster has been seen inside. The guards explain that it's a very dangerous demonic beast with a face like a lion. Hearing this, Kang immediately remembers there's only one such demon called Boar. Boar is one of the strongest predators from the second level of hell. There are a total of 9 levels in hell, with 1 being the lowest and 9 being the highest. Boar is the strongest demon from the second level. This demon resembles a lion, has 5 legs, and possesses a special trait called full stomach. Regardless of its size, once Boar consumes 5 prey within a day, it falls asleep until it's attacked. Kang remembers the time when Boar came down to the first level of hell. He was pure terror. Kang's pants were covered in piss when he first saw Boar, and he was desperately trying to save his life. Remembering this, Kang vomits. Kang counts. Boar was seen in this dungeon only 2 days ago, and 10 people have been killed in these 2 days. This means Boar hasn't eaten anything today. If Kang feeds Boar 5 people, he can easily kill Boar. Thinking this, Kang calls Cha-Yun. Damn, I must say, Cha-Yun is thick. He's doing muscle training, wearing headphones, and exercising. Kang explains that he needs to get into a B-rank dungeon, but the guards aren't letting him in. As soon as Cha-Yun hears B-rank dungeon, he stops exercising. Upset, Cha-Yun's body is covered in sweat, looking gorgeous. Cha-Yun understands what Kang wants and agrees to help him enter the dungeon, but hopes that Kang will die at the hands of the mutated monster. Kang tells Cha-Yun that if he really thinks Kang will die, then he should never recruit him again. They start having fun, and Cha-Yun calls the guard, explaining that Kang is a member of their guild and has permission to enter. The guard is skeptical, but lets Kang in. As soon as Kang gets permission, all the reporters become active. When they find out that Kang is a member of the Red Rose Guild, they start clicking photos. At the same time, someone shouts from behind, "Stop!" A group of 4 to 5 people approach. Their leader is a blue-haired dickhead. Well, we got another dumbass here. This dumbass says he's from the Mira Guild and his name is Sang-Soo, but let's just call him Dumbass. Reporters start paying attention to him because he's a rookie who became B-rank quickly. He starts insulting Kang, saying that the Rose Guild has become low level, sending only 1 person into a B-rank dungeon with unique armor but no weapon. He mocks Kang for not having any fancy equipment or a party. Kang immediately starts acting, smiling kindly, saying that he likes working alone and doesn't prefer joining parties. Dumbass taunts Kang, saying that Kang has only raided C-rank dungeons and has no idea how dangerous B-rank dungeons can be. Dumbass puts his hand on Kang's neck, asking why Kang isn't saying anything. He mocks Kang for being so scared that he can't speak. Dumbass then offers Kang a spot on his team, boasting that they are all high-level hunters, over level 50. He tells Kang that his team will do all the work. Kang just needs to follow them. Basically, Dumbass wanted to humiliate Kang, but Kang smiles, politely accepts the offer, and even thanks Dumbass for being so kind and helpful. On the other hand, Kang starts counting the people in the group. 1, 2, 3, 4, and lastly, a weirdo, making it 5 with Dumbass included. It's 6. Kang gives a mischievous, psychopathic, evil smile. He was wondering whom he would sacrifice, but these 5 people came at the perfect time. Damn, I knew it. Kang was cooking some shit when he started counting. After that, we are shown a flashback where Mira Guild's vice leader tells Dumbass to go and fight Kang, intending to ruin Kang's reputation in front of the media, so that the Red Rose Guild's name would also be tarnished. But here, the situation was different. Dumbass wanted to humiliate Kang, but Kang, with a friendly attitude, created an image that made it seem like the Red Rose Guild and Mira Guild were on equal footing. If Dumbass pushed any further, it would end up ruining Mira Guild's name instead. Dumbass commands all his team members to enter the dungeon with Kang, thinking that Kang is a cowardly person. He doesn't understand why the Red Rose Guild would sponsor such a useless coward, but he sees Kang's smirking smile and thinks there's no need to provoke this cowardly bastard further. What he didn't know was that Dumbass and his team were about to be completely screwed over. Dumbass believes this is just a temporary alliance. He plans that once inside the dungeon, they will beat Kang up and throw him out in front of the media, claiming that Kang was so weak they had to protect him the entire time. But Dumbass has no idea what's coming for them inside the dungeon. Meanwhile, Kang still laughs with a psychopathic, evil, creepy smile. He's truly happy. The scene shifts, and everyone has entered the dungeon. As soon as they enter, Dumbass spits on the ground, saying, "Is Kang genuinely stupid, or is he pretending to be stupid? How can he be such a coward?" Dumbass warns Kang to keep walking behind him and not interfere with his hunting. Dumbass and his team members start mocking the Red Rose Guild, calling it a third-rate guild made up of trash. They boast that Mira Guild, unlike Red Rose, has an S-rank veteran hunter and an S-rank son. On the other hand, Kang just walks behind them, maintaining his psychopathic smile, waiting for the perfect moment. Almost 20 minutes pass, and they keep walking deeper into the dungeon, yet not a single monster appears. Dumbass starts getting frustrated. He can't figure out where all the monsters have gone. Seizing the opportunity, Kang activates his omnipotent demonic eye and scans the entire dungeon at once. He quickly discovers where the Boer is hiding. Kang gives a smirking smile and activates his demonic temptation. He releases a seductive and irresistible scent on Dumbass and his teammates. A scent that demons love. As soon as the scent spreads, the Boer comes running towards them. The moment Boer appears, everyone gets ready for battle. Dumbass turns to Kang and arrogantly says, "We'll kill Boer," and Kang can't even claim he helped. But when Dumbass looks at Kang's face, he is shocked. Kang's expression isn't one of fear. It's a psychopathic smile. Dumbass realizes something is off, but before he can react, Boer strikes from behind, piercing its tail through the chest of the first party member. He dies on the spot, and Boer immediately devours him. Kang, still with his evil smile, mentally counts 1. Dumbass and his party get active, launching attacks, but none of their strikes hit Boer. Boer dodges everything. Dumbass can't even see the Boer. It's too fast. Within seconds, Boer devours all the party members except for Dumbass and 2 others. Dumbass is now terrified. He commands his remaining 2 members to attack Boer together. But before they can act, Boer pierces its tail through both of them with a single blow. They drop dead instantly. Dumbass stands there, shaking in fear, unable to comprehend what he's facing. "How can a B-rank dungeon have such a strong monster?" he yells, panicking. He watches in horror as Boer eats his teammates raw. The last surviving member, Boer's girlfriend, is lying on the ground, paralyzed with fear. She's accepted her fate. On the other hand, Kang is enjoying every second of this. Dumbass, furious, activates his spear and charges at Boer with all his might. But Boer just flicks its claw, sending Dumbass crashing into the wall. His backbone nearly breaks. Kang jumps down, standing right in front of Dumbass's face. Dumbass opens his eyes and sees Boer standing there eating his girlfriend raw. Boer lies on the floor, savoring the scene. It was a massacre for Dumbass's entire team, and with that, we can all say our protagonist, Kang, is a certified psychopath. Boomer eats the Dumbass's girlfriend. The Dumbass doesn't know what's going on. He's still sitting on the ground showing his ass because his backbone is broken. He can't move and is stuck in the same position. On the other hand, Kang gently lands on the Boomer's head and tells the Dumbass that since the Boomer has eaten 5 people, he'll sleep here the whole day. When the Boomer eats 5 people in a day, he goes to sleep quietly. Unless the Boomer is attacked, he won't do anything to anyone. Kang then summons his right hand with his dark demonic spear and his left hand with his hellfire. With a single blow, he tries to merge the two, hellfire and the demonic spear together. The Dumbass is watching this from behind, completely stunned. Kang puts all his demonic energy into combining the 2 energies. As soon as he does, a layer of hellfire forms around his demonic spear. The spear almost doubles in size. Kang uses his full force and drives the spear straight into the Boomer's body. The spear hits the Boomer's heart directly, and the Boomer dies on the spot. The system notifies Kang that he has developed a new skill named Bidden. With one single blow, the Boomer's body explodes and burns to ashes. The Boomer dies right there. The system notifies Kang that he killed the Boomer alone and leveled up 6 times. Kang reaches level 40 and unlocks his 5th awakening. Not only that, because he killed a demonic beast, his demonic energy increases by 7 levels. But a weird notification pops up for Kang. It says his status is at the limit. Kang doesn't understand what this status limit means, but we'll get to know later. After that, the system notifies Kang that since his demonic energy has increased by 60, a special condition has been met. Kang looks a bit confused after seeing this special condition. The name of this special condition is Extreme Demonic Delay. Kang doesn't know what Extreme Demonic Delay is, so he checks his status window. He finds out that if he fulfills 3 conditions, he will become a demonic god. The first condition was increasing his demonic energy by 60. Conditions 2 and 3 are hidden, and Kang has to find them out himself. Seeing this, Kang gets excited. Kang thinks he knew it. Because of this status window, he has the potential to become stronger than ever before. This is the first time he's hearing about such power, even though he was in hell for 10,000 years. Kang's hypothesis was right. If he merges his hell power with Giga power, who knows how strong Kang can become? Kang was just the king of 9 demon realms, but if he fulfills this condition, he can become a demon god. Kang then activates his power of gluttony and slowly absorbs the boomer. After absorbing the boomer, his demonic energy increases by 4 levels. Suddenly, Kang hears a voice from behind. He turns back and sees that the dumbass is still alive. The dumbass's bones are still broken, which is why he's still lying on the ground. The dumbass is so terrified that he doesn't even let Kang get close. But Kang slowly steps in front of him. The dumbass grabs Kang's legs and starts smiling, but it's a smile full of fear. The dumbass looks like he's seen a real demon. The dumbass asks Kang, "Will you kill me?" But Kang, with a kind smile, says, "You don't have to be scared of me. If you tell me everything I want to know, I'll let you go." Kang then asks one question. He knows someone ordered the dumbass to provoke him. Who was it? Kang knows the dumbass is too much of a loser to provoke him on his own. The dumbass stays silent. So Kang kicks him hard in the stomach, making him tumble even further away. Not only that, but Kang picks him up by his hair and smashes his face against the wall 4 or 5 times. The dumbass's face swells up badly. Kang, with a deep voice, warns the dumbass, "I'll ask you one last question. If you don't reply, I'll start with pulling your hair, then your nails, and finally, your testicles." Hearing such torture, the dumbass starts crying and reveals that the order was given by Mira Guild's vice leader. He explains that the vice leader likes Cha-yun a lot. The vice leader proposed to Cha-yun, but she coldly rejected him. That's why he wanted to defame Rose Guild. Kang can't believe that for such a petty reason they came to harass him. The dumbass shows Kang a photo of Mira Guild's vice leader, Kim Shin. Kang looks at Kim Shin's face and thinks of his own Kim. Their faces look very similar. Kang thinks there's a connection but brushes it off, thinking, all handsome people look similar. Kang throws the dumbass's phone aside. The dumbass begs Kang to leave him alive. He says it wasn't his fault. He was just following orders. Kang grabs the dumbass by the neck and says, "You were following orders, but you were enjoying it!" The dumbass is now scared to death, thinking Kang will kill him. But Kang smiles politely and says, "I won't kill you because I have a higher purpose for you." The scene shifts, and we see Kang carrying the dumbass on his shoulders. As soon as they exit the dungeon, reporters surround them. Kang starts his Oscar-level acting, shouting, "Send an ambulance!" He gently places the dumbass on the floor and asks the reporters, "What happened here?" Kang continues his Nobel Prize-winning story. He explains that as soon as they entered the dungeon, a demonic monster attacked them. It was so strong that it killed all the party members instantly. The dumbass begged Kang to run away and fought the monster alone to save Kang. Kang praises the dumbass as a true hero. The reporters take photos, and articles are published everywhere. The true hero of this era. But the problem is, Kang beat the dumbass so badly that he fell into a coma and never woke up. Another report in the news says, the hero who never wakes up is in a vegetative state. After that, the scene shifts, and we see Cha-yun watching the news while sipping coffee. He understands that this is definitely Kang's doing. No monster would have done such a thing to dumbass. Kang must have beaten him up and done this. After that, we learn that Cha-yun is drinking tea with someone. It's Cha-yun's friend. He says, "The rookie that Cha-yun has taken under him is very cute. And damn, I must say, Cha-yun's friend is really mommy material. She is thick." We don't know Cha-yun's friend's name, so let's call her Blondie. Blondie asks Cha-yun, "Where did you find such a talented rookie?" but Cha-yun just calls his friend an old aunt in reply, which makes Blondie very angry. After the fun banter ends, Cha-yun gets serious and tells Blondie that the spy they set up will get results very soon. But right at that moment, Kang also enters the room. Kang is a little surprised to see an unknown woman there. Blondie says hello to Kang as soon as she sees him. Kang replies with a hello too. Blondie stands up and says, "Now that Kang is here, you two can talk." She gets ready to leave. Kang calls her a lady and says, "I just came by casually. If you two want to chat, go ahead." But Blondie gives him a deadly cold stare and says, "Don't call me a lady. Cha-yun and I are the same age." She says this and leaves. After that, the scene shifts and Kang sits in front of Cha-yun. Kang asks, "Who was that lady?" Cha-yun casually says, "Just a friend." But then Cha-yun hands Kang a temporary S-rank permit. With this, Kang will be able to enter a temporary S-rank gate. Seeing this S-rank card, Kang gets very happy. Cha-yun praises him, but the very next moment, Kang becomes serious. Kang tells Cha-yun that he was standing outside and heard everything that was happening inside. The atmosphere gets a bit tense. Cha-yun pours another cup of coffee and tells Kang, "You've found out about the demonic organization." Cha-yun goes on to explain the entire demonic organization, what they do, how they sacrifice people, and how they gather demonic energy. Their organization is massive. Well, Kang already knew all this. Cha-yun gets even more serious and says, "No matter what happens, I will kill every single one of these demonic groups." As he says this, a deadly, cold-hearted killing intent radiates from Cha-yun's body. Even Kang can feel it. Kang thinks, an S-rank must be very powerful. He feels like fighting Cha-yun right then and there. Cha-yun continues, "So many people have died investigating this demonic group. I've lost many close comrades in this investigation. That's why I can't include any weak people in this mission. That's why I chose you, Kang." According to Cha-yun, Kang is a powerful hunter and will become even stronger in the future. Cha-yun says, "If you accept this commission, your life could be in danger. If you want, you can break the contract and leave." But Kang just smiles and says, "Cha-yun has already helped me a lot, and I'm the type of person who always pays off my debts. I'll never back down from my responsibilities." Hearing this, Cha-yun gets a bit shy, thinking that Kang is genuinely a righteous person with a sense of justice. On the other hand, Kang is laughing his devilish smile inside, thinking, "I've hit the jackpot." Kang thinks, who would be crazy enough to pass up free demonic energy? I'll get information about the demonic organization for free, kill them all, and absorb their demonic energy. It's like killing two birds with one stone. After that, Kang takes his S-rank permit and drives off. We find out that when Kang hit level 40, his fifth awakening was a summoning awakening. With this, Kang can summon any demon from another dimension once every 3 months. Kang knows he needs to use this opportunity to summon the most powerful demon possible. Kang has a theory. He thinks there are many universes in this galaxy and that the gates act as bridges to other dimensions outside of Earth. This means creatures from other planets can come to Earth and Earth's people can go to other planets. But the Giga system, created by a powerful being, only allows creatures from one planet to enter Earth. Even Kang doesn't fully understand why. Finally, Kang arrives at the S-rank dungeon gate. The dungeon is huge. Kang shows his pass and the guard lets him in. As soon as he steps inside, Kang notices that it looks like a pocket dimension. He sits down and activates his skill. The moment he does, Kang starts floating in the air. Demonic energy surges from Kang's body, and a greenish crack appears in the sky. Kang sees this and concentrates all his demonic energy into 2 big hands, pulling the crack open with great force. But Kang notices something strange. The crack isn't red like the ones in Hell, it's green. The system notifies Kang. Due to a malfunction in the Giga system, another portal to a different universe has been opened. Kang was trying to open the Gate of Hell, but instead, he opened a portal to another planet from a different universe, the continent of Eleonora. Kang doesn't understand what the continent of Eleonora is, but suddenly, something huge comes out of the portal, a massive white dragon. The dragon is badly injured on the verge of death. Its horn is broken. The system notifies Kang. He has summoned a demon dragon, the daughter of the dragon demon. Kang was not able to understand the situation. What the hell is going on? Why is this portal green in color? And with a bam, how did such a huge, white-colored, injured dragon come out of the portal? He was summoning a demon from Hell! Kang wanted to summon a powerful demon from level 3 Hell. But from any angle, this doesn't look like a demon. But the surprise doesn't end here. 4 more mysterious beings jump out of the portal and face Kang. a small dwarf, a white-colored silver mage, a silver-haired elf, and finally, a blonde-haired hero in golden armor. They all line up and start talking in a foreign language. Looking at Kang, some of them seem very worried, but Kang doesn't understand who they are or what they're saying. It looks like these are the people who attacked the demon dragon, and maybe they are warning Kang to leave for his own safety. But Kang is not a normal being. Kang unlocks his demon communication ability. Kang acquired this skill in Hell after mastering the demon language for 2,000 years. Because of this, Kang can understand all the languages in the universe. As soon as he activates his skill, Kang is able to understand what they're saying. They're saying, "This dragon is almost dead. With one more blow, we'll kill this demon dragon." Finally, Kang asks them, "Who the hell are you?" The hero and his group notice that they can understand Kang. They tell him their names. The blonde hero introduces himself as Reynald, the third prince of the Aran Empire. Kang doesn't understand what is happening here. He notices the idiot hero in golden armor, an elf, a dwarf, and a silver-haired mage. It looks like a scene straight out of a fantasy novel. But as soon as Kang sees the injured demon dragon, he realizes there is a connection between him and this white-colored demon dragon. He feels the dragon is on the verge of death. So Kang goes in front of the demon dragon, places his hand on its head, and activates his power of resurrection. Kang thinks, it doesn't matter if this demon is from another dimension or universe. If this dragon is truly a demon, then my ability will work. As soon as Kang activates his power, the dragon starts healing at an incredible speed. The blonde hero gets very angry and tries to stop Kang, but the demon dragon opens its eyes and asks Kang, "Did you summon me? If you summoned me, then you are my master." Kang tells the demon dragon, "You don't have to worry anymore. Your master is here." Seeing this, the hero and his group draw their swords at Kang. They demand, "Do you even know how evil this dragon is? Do you know what it has done?" The hero explains that the dragon's father destroyed almost half the world. The entire continent fought a 1,000-year war just to seal the father of the demon dragon. And just a few moments ago, the daughter of the demon dragon, this white dragon, hatched. "If we give it time to grow, it will destroy the world just like its father," the hero shouts. But Kang couldn't care less about their entire story. Kang activates his hellfire and throws it at the hero and his group, saying, "I don't give a shit!" Kang's eyes turn red with rage. He shouts, "I don't care what its father has done, it doesn't matter. This white demon dragon is now my property. Without my permission, none of you can even touch it." Seeing this, the demon dragon gets emotional. The hero and his party give Kang a final warning. They shout, "No matter what happens, we will kill this demon dragon today. If you get in our way, we won't spare you either." The people of the continent are angry and ready to kill Kang, but Kang easily dodges all their attacks, like he's a slime, slipping away from their strikes. The hero and his group are not weak either. Kang knows he can't defeat all four of them in a righteous fight. He needs a trick. So, Kang pretends to be weak. He deliberately takes a punch from the blonde hero right in the stomach. As soon as the hero lowers his guard, Kang activates his demon blade. He's not aiming for the hero's face, though. Instead, he swiftly kicks the hero's leg. The blonde hero yells, "This is cowardly!" But Kang gives a psychopathic smile and says to the hero in a creepy voice, "There is nothing fair in fighting. You're just a dumbass. And I'm not a hero who fights properly. I'm a demon lord." After that, we see that the hero is badly injured. He can't even stand on his feet. And from behind, that human girl calls out to the hero, shouting his name. She tells him that his leg is injured, and it's very difficult for him to escape from here. So all of them should go back to their empire. The hero leaves the fate of the entire empire in the hands of that girl. The girl is the princess of that empire. But Kang gets very irritated after seeing all this drama and kicks Reynold away. Reynold is terrified now. His leg is broken. On the other hand, we get to know about Kang's past. We learn that after living in hell for 10,000 years, Kang has already lost his mercy. Because if you show mercy in hell, your death is certain. All the demons there beg, cry, and plead for mercy. If you show them even 1% of mercy, they won't hesitate to kill you. So there, Kang killed a lot of demons just to remove mercy from his body. Kang has no mercy button. Kang takes out his demon blade to kill Reynold, but that human princess comes in front of Reynold and begs in front of Kang. She starts crying and pleading, asking Kang not to kill Reynold. Reynold doesn't understand why this human girl wants to save him. Then we find out the girl's name is Ria. Ria finally reveals her secret love. Ria says she has loved Reynold since childhood and can't bear to see him die in front of her eyes. Hearing all this, Kong feels cringe. Kong makes a cringy face and says, "Stop your drama right now." But before Kang can do anything further, the system notifies Kang that the Giga system has detected unknown entities. All these unknown entities have mistakenly come here. The Giga system will send them back to their place. Kong sees that Reynold and his party are slowly disappearing from his sight. Seeing this, Kang gets very angry and takes out his demon blade ready to kill Reynold. But Reynold disappears from there. Kang is frustrated. He can't believe he couldn't kill Reynold or take his sparkling golden armor. After that, Kong remembers the demon dragon also came from another realm. So Kang quickly turns his eyes to check on the demon dragon. When he sees the demon dragon still there, Kong feels very relieved. He goes over to his summon and thinks he needs to find out more about the Giga system. According to what Kang has figured out so far, the Giga system acts like a defensive barrier meant to block foreign invaders. When Kang was coming to Earth from Hell, it was the Giga system that stopped him. But now, Kong thinks, if the Giga system stops foreign invaders, then how is it allowing demons from Hell to come to Earth? Then Kong realizes that all the demons have been coming to Earth only in the last 2-3 weeks. With a click, Kang's mind starts racing. Kang realizes that 2-3 weeks ago, he came to Earth. And as soon as Kang arrived, there was a strange error in the Giga system. Kang understands that because of him, there's an error in the Giga system, allowing beings from Hell to invade Earth. Kang grabs his head and sits down thinking, I'll figure all this out later. First, I need to treat the demon dragon in front of me. Kang goes in front of the demon dragon, places his hand on it, and uses his resurrection skill to heal it completely. The demon dragon is in a lot of pain, but Kang tells it, just hold on a little longer, you'll be healed soon. The demon dragon thanks Kong. Finally, Kong heals the demon dragon completely. As soon as the demon dragon becomes conscious, it starts telling its story to Kong. The demon dragon says it doesn't know anything about Earth. It came from a different planet called Ankia. That planet is completely different from Earth. There, people use swords and bows. There are dwarfs, elves, wyverns, and normal monsters. There are goblins as well. The demon dragon shrinks in size, becoming very small. It sits on Kong's car and goes with him. While they are on their way, the demon dragon asks if they're going to Kang's nest. Kang feels shy and thinks his my house is kind of like a nest, and Juhi is like her companion, so yes, this is a sort of nest. Kong feels a little shy. The demon dragon also feels a bit shy, but happy. The demon dragon starts telling its story. It was born just a few days ago. In the beginning, its father treated it well, but suddenly, a few days ago, its father disappeared. After its father's disappearance, it was alone in the library reading books. It lived alone until one day, Reynold and his party came and started beating the demon dragon, accusing it of intending to destroy the world. The demon dragon cries, looking at Kang, and says it has no intention of destroying the world. "Do you believe me?" the demon dragon asks. Looking at the crying face of the demon dragon, Kang remembers his own childhood, when everyone left him. Kang puts his hand on the dragon's head and says, "The world may think anything about you, but I believe you 110%. Hearing this, the demon dragon starts crying again. Kang wipes the tears from the dragon's eyes. There is a very emotional and lovely scene between them. After that, the scene shifts. Kang has brought the demon dragon home. Juhi gets very excited and happy looking at the demon dragon. She holds the demon dragon to her chest like a stuffed toy, calling it cute. We then find out the real name of the demon dragon is Eichi. Eichi gets scared and hides behind Kang, saying, "That person is very scary." Kang tells Eichi, "Go on, explore your new nest." After that, Juhi and Kang start talking. Juhi tells Kang that she has leveled up a lot and has become stronger than before. Kang congratulates her, saying, "If you keep leveling up like this, you'll soon become a high-ranked player." Kang promises Juhi that they will go on another raid together very soon. Hearing this, Juhi becomes very happy. There's a lovely moment between them. On the other hand, Eichi falls asleep on Kang's lap. After that, the scene shifts, and we see that the next day has passed. Kang is still sleeping, slowly drifting into Juhi's scent. Juhi had made a nice kimchi and rice today. Kang stretches his arms, yawning, and sits at the table. Suddenly, a little girl sits next to him and cheerfully says, "Good morning!" Kang, still half asleep, replies, "Good morning," without thinking. But wait! Kang suddenly realizes this little girl isn't just any girl. He stares in shock and realizes that it's none other than Ichi. Juhi informs Kang that she was surprised too. As soon as morning came, Juhi noticed that Ichi had transformed into a human form. Kang quickly notices that the demonic energy inside his body feels almost drained. Ichi looks at Kang with innocent eyes and explains that even she doesn't know why she's taken a human form. When she slept through the night, she felt a strong connection with Kang, and when she woke up, she found herself in this human shape. Kang finally understands why he felt so weak this morning. Kang, now puzzled, asks Ichi, "Can you change back into your dragon form, or is this permanent?" Ichi, eager to impress Kang, raises her hand and tries to unleash all her power to transform back. But before she can finish, Kang realizes they're screwed. He tries to stop Ichi, but it's too late. Ichi begins to transform into a half-dragon, almost destroying the entire room. The scene shifts, and we see Ichi sitting there, tears welling up in her eyes. While transforming, her clothes had torn apart. Kang and Juhi quickly give her a new dress. Kang scolds Ichi and says, "Don't transform without telling me next time." Ichi pouts with a teary face, but Juhi gently pats her head, telling her, "It's okay, Ichi. You just need to be careful. Don't transform at home, all right?" Kang also tells Ichi, "You can transform whenever you need to, but make sure you do it when I'm around." Ichi nods, still a bit emotional, but Kang secretly feels relieved. If she had stayed as a dragon, taking her around would have been a problem. But now that she's in human form, it'll be much easier to take her everywhere. Juhi then suggests, "Let's fix the mood and buy new clothes for Ichi since she's in human form now." Hearing the idea of new clothes, both Ichi and Juhi's eyes sparkle with excitement. Kang sighs but agrees, smiling. The scene shifts again. Kang is now sitting in Chayun's office. He shows Chayun a photo of Ichi on his phone and casually says, "This is my new summon." Chayun's face is a mix of shock, surprise, and pure confusion. She can't understand who Kang really is. How did he summon a dragon? And why doesn't this dragon look like a typical dragon at all? While they're talking, someone enters the room. It's none other than Hela. Hela notices Chayun in the room with someone else and asks, "Am I disturbing something?" Chayun says, "No, you're fine. The mommy material." Hela comes over, shakes hands with Kang, and introduces herself as the 3rd Corp Commander of Hawarang Corp. Kang nods and introduces himself back. Hela suddenly recalls, "Wait, you're the same person I met at the C-Rank gate a while ago?" Chayun looks at Hela and asks, "You know each other?" Hela explains, "Yes, I met him in a C-Rank dungeon a few days ago. He's kind, righteous, and polite." Hearing this, Chayun looks disgusted because she knows the real Kang. Chayun asks, "Why are you here, Kang?" He smirks and says, "I want a permanent S-Rank entrance." Chayun, irritated, sits down heavily on the sofa and asks, "Do you even know how dangerous an S-Rank gate is? You can't clear an S-Rank dungeon alone. You need at least 3, 4 S-Rank hunters." Kang calmly replies, "I know, I'm not planning to go alone. I'll take my summon with me." He grins, "And she's a dragon." Hela looks completely lost and asks Chayun, "Wait, didn't you say this guy was doing C-Rank gate, so he's a B-Rank hunter, right? How can he become S-Rank in just 2 to 3 weeks? Chayun laughs and replies, "He's an idiot with immense potential. He's already an S-Rank hunter." Hela looks amazed, thinking Kang must have been hiding his true rank before. Because Chayun and Hela need to discuss something secret, Chayun reluctantly agrees to give Kang a permanent S-Rank card. Kang leaves, and then Chayun and Hela have a serious conversation. Hela reveals, "Our secret agent in the demonic group informed us that they're preparing a dangerous ritual. They're going to summon a powerful, intelligent being from hell." Chayun's expression changes. If those demonic cult members manage to summon Lilith, the demon of octopus, Kang's reaction is going to be priceless. After that, the scene shifts, and we see Kang finally arriving at the S-Rank dungeon with Achi. As soon as he steps in, Kang activates his omnipotent eye, scanning the dungeon to sense the types of monsters lurking inside. Kang's eyes widen. He senses a dragon-type monster. Without wasting a second, Kang activates his demonic temptation to lure the beast toward him. It doesn't take long. The demon comes charging toward Kang. And damn, this demon is huge, towering over Kang like a building. Kang instantly realizes this isn't an ordinary monster. This is something else. The moment the demon gets close, it throws a powerful punch. Kang retaliates, using his full power to land his own punch. The ground shakes as their punches clash, but they're evenly matched. Even after going all out, Kang finds himself struggling. He realizes that S-Rank monsters are no joke. Chayun wasn't lying when she said he needed an S-Rank team to complete this dungeon. But Kang isn't backing down. He activates his lightning attack, paralyzing the demon on the spot. Kong grins and amps up the voltage, frying the demon from the inside out. The system notifies Kong, "You have killed a giant orc. Level up, +1. But Kong can't help but feel exhausted. This was just a normal S-rank monster, and it took everything he had. From behind, Ichi comes running, shouting to Kang that she wants to fight too. But Kong shakes his head and says, "When the time's right, kiddo, I can't risk you getting hurt again." He still doesn't know how strong Ichi really is, and he doesn't want her injured. Suddenly, the sound of wings fluttering fills the air. Kang looks up and his face goes pale. Almost 10-20 huge wyverns are descending toward him, and these aren't just any wyverns, they're all S-rank wyverns. Kang could probably take them on alone, but he's worried about Ichi. He grabs Ichi and activates his demonic wings, taking flight to escape. But the wyverns are fast. They cut off his path, surrounding him from every side. Ichi looks up, her eyes wide with fear. She thinks, "All these wyverns, they're going to kill Daddy Kang!" Tears start welling up in her eyes and she shouts, "Stay away from my daddy!" With that, Ichi transforms into her full dragon form, and damn, I must say, these wyverns look like gnats compared to Ichi's full dragon form. She's almost 10 times bigger than any of those wyverns. Ichi swings her massive tail, slicing one of the wyverns clean in half. It's brutal. One by one, Ichi devours the wyverns like they're nothing but snacks. Kang hovers in the air watching this bloodbath unfold. He's in shock. Ichi is absolutely crushing these S-rank wyverns like they're mere insects. Meanwhile, the system keeps pinging notifications at Kang. Your familiar has killed an S-rank wyvern, gained massive experience points. Kang stands there, stunned. He thinks to himself, wait a damn minute. Is Ichi really more powerful than me? After that, the scene shifts, and we see Kong taking Ichi onto his lap. Ichi loses all her energy due to being in her full dragon form and reverts back to her baby form. Ichi makes a crying face, and the next moment, Kang's expression turns angry. He shouts at Ichi, "Even though you transformed to help me in your dragon form, I told you not to transform without asking me first." Kang doesn't like it when someone disobeys his command. Hearing this, Ichi gets even more emotional and promises Kang that she will never transform without his permission again. But Kang hates seeing Ichi cry like this. He pulls her into a hug and says softly, "The first mistake is forgiven, Ichi." Kong gently pats Ichi on the head, comforting her. We learn that Kong has now reached level 49. Kong thinks to himself, I knew Ichi was a strong demon, but I had no idea she was this strong. He realizes that Ichi wasn't actually that powerful before. Last night, when Ichi absorbed all of Kang's demonic power, it made her much stronger than before. Ichi doesn't even know this yet. The scene shifts again, and we see Kang coming out of the dungeon, still holding Ichi on his lap. He heads home, thinking, Juhi must have made kimchi for me. But suddenly, Ichi's face turns very serious. Ichi points a small finger towards a dark alley and says, "I smell blood from over there." The scene changes, and we see the same spy who was planted by Cha Yun inside the demonic cult. We witness how the spy risked his life to gather all the information about the demonic cult and put it on a memory card. The spy hurries into a bathroom, frantically thinking about where to hide the memory card. He knows he needs to pass it to Cha Yun or someone trustworthy, but escaping from the cult is almost impossible. The spy contemplates, should I hide it in my shoe? No, that's too obvious. Maybe in my asshole? It'll be safer there. But before he can make his move, a creepy demonic cult member emerges from the bathroom and catches the spy red-handed. Back to the present, we see the spy bleeding profusely from his head. He's almost half dead, barely managing to run away. There's only one thought in his mind. This memory card must be kept safe. He knows if he can hand it over to an officer, his death won't be in vain. While escaping, the spy collapses on the ground, blood pouring from a deep wound in his stomach. He desperately tries to stop the bleeding, but his vision starts to fade. Just as everything goes black, Kang and Ichi appear in front of him. The spy's face lights up with relief as he sees Kong. With trembling hands, he reaches out and places the memory card in Kong's hand. He whispers, "This is my last memory card. Please keep it safe." And with those words, the spy dies right there. Kong looks down, completely confused. Who the hell was that guy? How did he end up bleeding like this? And what the hell is this memory card for? Kang stares at the card in disbelief and thinks to himself, well, bro just handed me his divine collection of porn to a total stranger. Kang still holds the memory card in his hand. He doesn't understand what a memory card is or why this person handed it to Kang so carefully. After that, Kang uses his omnipotent eye. However, Kang knows that this is a player above level 50. Kang applies his analysis skill and thinks that if this player is above level 50, he must be allowed to enter any S-rank dungeon. But looking at the spy's wounds, it seems like they were inflicted by a human. Whoever did this was definitely after the memory card. Kang thinks there must be something very important inside it. Kang decides to put the memory card into his iPhone 69. He slowly inserts the memory card and a folder pops up labeled Awakens. Kang immediately opens the folder. The moment he sees what's inside, Kang's eyes widen and his whole body starts shaking. He looks at the screen twice as carefully, holding his iPhone 69 tightly. From behind, Echi notices and wonders why Kang looks so shocked. On the other hand, Kang's face turns red because there's nothing else in the memory card except a plumber's video. A plumber is seen repairing a girl's kitchen pipe, putting his pipe into her sinkhole. Kang's face gets even redder. He can't believe this person genuinely gave him a divine collection of videos. A strange tickling sensation runs through Kang's body and his little pee-pee starts waking up slowly. In 10,000 years, this is the first plumber video Kang has seen. 5 to 10 minutes pass, and Kang keeps watching the video, his eyes completely red. But then, Echi calls out from behind, saying Kang has been staring at his phone for too long. Kang tries to explain to her that this is crucial evidence. The spy handed it over before he died, so Kang needs to keep it safe. But suddenly, Kang senses a group of people approaching. They're members of the demonic cult. The cult members arrive and notice the dead spy on the ground. They see Kang watching something on his phone and immediately understand that the spy must have handed the memory card to Kang. One of the cult members shouts, asking if Kang put the memory card in his phone and if he's seen everything on it. Kang, still flustered from watching the plumber video, tries to make sense of the situation. The cult members draw their blades, declaring that since Kang has seen everything in the memory card, they can't let him live. Kang is baffled. He wonders if watching a porn video on Earth is such a big sin that people are willing to kill over it. He quickly realizes that the demonic cult is after the memory card, but Kang isn't about to hand it over easily. He gets furious. Kang slips his phone into his pocket and shouts, "How dare they try to steal the first plumber video he's watched in 10,000 years?" Kang is enraged. He vows to protect the memory card with his life. As the cult members charge at him, Kang swiftly pulls out his demonic blade. One by one, he slices through them like butter. The cult members can't even last a second against Kang, and soon they're all dead. The remaining cult members try to escape, but Kang drops a single drop of his blood on the ground and activates the Terra Blade. Instantly, multiple blades erupt from the earth, killing every last one of them. It's a bloodbath. The dark alley is filled with red blood. Kang is still watching the video, wondering, why is the demonic cult so obsessed with this plumber video? But after watching it for 2 more minutes, he thinks, maybe the demonic cult really likes this collection of videos. As Kang continues watching, Cha Yun jumps down from above, catching him in the act. Cha Yun and Hela rush over, asking what happened. Hela is shocked by the sight of so many dead bodies. But when she sees the dead spy, her eyes go wide open, because this is the same spy she had sent to infiltrate the demonic cult. Hela steps closer, her face serious, and asks Kang if he found a memory card on the spy. She demands to know if Kang knows anything about it. Kang pulls the memory card out of his phone and says, "Before he died, the spy gave this memory card to me." Cha Yun is equally surprised to see the card. She asks Kang to hand it over, saying there's something very important stored inside it. Cha Yun mentions that she's been after this video for a long time and wants to see it right now. Kang doesn't understand why Cha Yun is so eager to watch this video. Cha Yun, seemingly desperate, says she can't wait to watch it right now. So with this, the video ends here. If you also want to get the Divine Collection, smash that like button and let's hit 5,000 likes. And don't forget to drop a pickle juice in the comments. Goodbye and see you in the next one.